Before this, our male lead was just a total loser who couldn't even awaken any abilities, always getting wrecked by his classmates. But when those student council jerks show up to start some trouble, he drops them all with just a few basic punches, leaving them completely useless. This absolutely leaves the Academy's #1 genius in total mind-blowing shock. Zero warm-up. He is actually just disappointed about it. But here is the crazy part that nobody knows. He did not just awaken a triple S class ability, he is also the only person on Earth with all 5 elements. Turns out, this world is under constant monster attacks. Everyone gets to awaken an ability once they hit adulthood. Back then, Chen only awakened an S-class talent. Yet, in the final, brutal war against those beasts, he ended up losing his only little sister. In the end, he decided to blow himself up to take down the Demon King. But when he finally opens his eyes, everything is completely changed. Not only did he travel 10 years back in time, he also awakened the Devour ability. Right now, the world is still safe, giving him plenty of time to build up his strength. Suddenly, he feels a strange wave of energy surging inside his body. It is his lightning assassin class from his past life, followed by the awakening of the Gluttony System that lets him swallow other abilities. Before Chen can even check his stats properly, or finish his class transfer, a sudden knock on the door cuts off his thoughts completely. The door flies open and Ma Long rushes inside looking absolutely panicked, running straight to the bed to ask if he is finally awake and feeling okay. Chen mutters he is fine, but mentally, he is completely stunned. It seems he really is the only one who can see this system screen. Ma Long does not notice anything, checking him from head to toe before freezing in shock as he realizes all of yesterday's wounds have completely vanished. Someone who was beaten half to death just yesterday is now fully healed after only one single night. This recovery speed is even crazier than actual awakened users. Ma Long mutters in disbelief, staring at his college roommate Chen. In his past life, Ma Long also awakened, but he stayed a total bottom-tier student and died miserably when the 3rd Demon King descended. Yet here he is, standing right in front of him, fully alive and breathing. At this exact moment, Chen finally realizes he is truly back. Ma Long still has absolutely no idea what is going on. He just urges him on, saying that tomorrow is the class test, so he needs to get ready if he feels fine. Even if he has not awakened yet, it still affects his graduation. The scene cuts to the schoolyard at sunset, filled with noisy, bustling students. Groups of students are busy doing their own thing, while some guys are happily playing soccer in the corner. Chen stands there for a moment, looking far off, thinking it has been forever since he saw so many living people. His words send a shiver down Ma Long's spine, making him ask what he means by that creepy comment. But to Chen, all of this peaceful scenery once vanished completely. If he does not change things now, that hopeless future is bound to happen all over again. Determination fills his gaze. He needs to get much stronger as fast as possible. In this era, the only way for awakened users to level up is by hunting monsters inside the dungeons. But those places are completely dominated by the big guilds, leaving regular folks with 0 chances of getting in. Chen takes a quick look at himself, wondering where his current stats actually put him. Society clearly ranks strength from highest to lowest, starting from S-class down to A-class, then B, C, D, and E, with most students getting stuck at E-class. Reaching D-class is only for a few rare geniuses or guild kids, so where does he fit in? Chen glances at Ma Long, already knowing the answer. He is definitely stronger than him. And right then, bam! A soccer ball flies out of nowhere, hitting Ma Long square in the face and knocking him down. His glasses shatter completely as a mocking voice sneers out, asking if that is not Chen and Ma Long. Gong Cheng stands there with a hateful smirk, mocking them for recovering so incredibly fast. Ma Long scrambles to his feet, pale-faced, muttering under his breath about their terrible luck meeting this guy again. Chen just stands silent, ice-cold eyes locked on them. He keeps mocking them, saying he told everyone these two are great punching bags, asking why they did not bring him water when they knew he was playing. With just those words, the air instantly gets heavy. Ma Long starts shaking out of habit, bowing to apologize as he turns to go buy the water. But right at that exact second, Chen speaks up, his voice quiet but enough to make everyone freeze. He says they did nothing wrong, and those jerks are the ones who should apologize. Chen pauses, staring intensely at Gong Cheng. Old memories rush back like a massive wave, the constant bullying and endless humiliation feeling as real as if they just happened today. Realizing things are getting dangerous, Ma Long panics and begs them to stop. But Gong Cheng just turns around with a sneering laugh, He sneers, asking why he should stop when he is just helping the kid, since he has not awakened yet and clearly needs a little push. As soon as he says that, his whole gang bursts into loud, mocking laughter. Harsh laughter echoes across the schoolyard as the gang walks away, tossing back a careless remark, "Did he pass out already? How boring, let us go." Ma Long rushes over to support Si Chen, asking if he is okay, but right then, tears stream down Si Chen's face as his voice drops. Why? Why will they not leave us alone? He clenches his fists in dark frustration. Malice is not just in the dungeons, it is right here in our world too. He turns around, his eyes turning dangerous. "What did you just say?" he asks with a twisted smile, telling his crew to keep beating him. Wait. Look at this. Reality suddenly snaps right back, and he is still standing in front of Si Chen with pure contempt, repeating the same old trash, "You did not bring water for my game?" Ma Long bows his head to apologize, ready to run off, but Si Chen steps forward and says calmly but firmly, "You did nothing wrong. They are the ones who should apologize." The moment those words drop, Gong Cheng's face twists into a furious, monstrous scowl. Terrified, Ma Long tugs his sleeve, asking what he is doing, but it is too late. Gong Cheng unleashes his pressure, stepping forward. Si Chen's eyes turn ice cold as info on the bully flashes in his mind. Gong Cheng only acts tough because his older brother is the strongest student council president, but the guy himself is actually a total nobody. Whispers start spreading through the crowd. Look, another show is starting, and they just got discharged from the hospital too. One is the weakest awakened kid, and the other is not even awakened yet. A real pair of school losers. Gong Cheng stops right in front of Si Chen, flexing his aura to intimidate him. "What did you just say?" he threatens. Si Chen just frowns, replying coldly. "Do not bother us again." That completely sets Gong Cheng off as he charges in a blind rage, shouting that Si Chen must want to die. But before that punch can land, it gets blocked. Si Chen counters so fast that nobody even sees it coming. Gong Cheng gets knocked back, clutching his arm and crying out in pain. The whole crowd is completely stunned. What just happened? Did that guy seriously block Gong Cheng's punch? No way. He is not even awakened yet. Am I seeing things? Furious, Gong Cheng screams an unawakened trash, dares to provoke me, but Si Chen just smirks, thinking this is the perfect chance to test his power on him. Check this out. His system initiates a job change, instantly shifting his power to complete the epic transformation. Level 1 Lightning Assassin. Standing nearby, Ma Long's eyes go wide. "Since when did you awaken?" Si Chen does not answer, simply gesturing with his hand to bring it on. Losing his mind, Gong Cheng activates a skill and charges forward with a roar. Did you forget how it feels to be crushed by the strong? But this time is different. Every single strike is effortlessly deflected. He is met with a brutal counteroffensive, blasted back in the blink of an eye, completely bruised up. The whole place erupts. What just happened? Did he seriously blow Gong Cheng away in one hit? This is unbelievable. Gong Cheng's face twists in sheer agony and panic as onlookers whisper in shock, "Is this really Si Chen? What on earth happened to him?" Flat on his back, Gong Cheng refuses to yield, screaming that he was cheap-shotted before yelling at his lackeys to get in there. But nobody dares to move a muscle. Jiangbai freezes right where he stands, completely overwhelmed by the terrifying pressure radiating from Si Chen. Gritting his teeth, Gong Cheng lunges again, screaming to kill him. But this time, the moment he swings, Si Chen catches his wrist. Bones crack with a sickening pop, and the bully screams in agony. Looking down with sheer contempt, Si Chen calls him pathetic. With that, he delivers a final blow, launching Gong Cheng like a rag doll straight into the wall before he crashes to the floor. With a handprint burning on his cheek, Ma Long stands frozen before slowly dropping to his knees. Shaking all over, he asks in total confusion when Si Chen became so incredibly powerful. Meanwhile, Si Chen silently analyzes the situation to reach some quick conclusions. First, he can still tap into his Lightning Assassin class anytime he wants. Even though his actual system level is only at level 1, his current power is already more than enough to completely crush low-rank awakened trash. This proves his class rank is easily above rank E, though his exact tier remains a mystery for now. His gaze sharpens as another issue pops up. He clearly beat his opponent, yet his system stats did not budge at all. Slowly reaching for his weapon, he makes Ma Long panic, shouting for him to wait and asking what on earth he is doing. But Si Chen already has his weapon raised high, pointing the sharp tip straight at Gong Cheng's neck with an incredibly cold look of final judgment. Is the way to farm experience points still the same as before? Without saying another word, Chen moves in, raining down a barrage of brutal blows on Gongcheng, leaving the bully zero chance to fight back. Just as the tension reaches its boiling point, Ling Yuji suddenly steps in. Her voice is calm, but carries a very clear warning. Look, we are at school. Even if he started it, this punishment is enough. He will not dare to pick another fight. Hearing this, Chen just throws a cold glare her way, tossing Gongcheng aside like trash. One major question crosses his mind. Why would the student council rush to protect a complete piece of trash like this? But honestly, he does not want a massive scene. Just scaring this scumbag is pretty much enough for now. Otherwise, parasites like him will just keep clinging on forever. Around them, the crowd is absolutely paralyzed with pure fear. That cold stare of his was terrifying. Seriously, do not mess with him. Someone whispers, "Is that guy really Chen? Is he not supposed to be the weakest, poorest loser in school?" The crowd quickly scatters like nothing even happened. Ling Yuji stands there, her eyes turning cold at the gossip. Weakest and poorest? Let us cut over to the boys' dorm. Inside, Ma Long is frantically trying to explain things to his roommates. You guys seriously have to believe me. Chen really awakened, and he is a lightning assassin with insane power. He just trashed Gongcheng so hard the guy could not even stand up, and now none of them dare look us in the eye. Harngba cleans out his ear, looking completely bored as he asks, "So where is he now?" Ma Long mumbles, "Unsure, I think he went for a run." The moment he says it, someone immediately barks back, "Why is a powerhouse like him running? Do awakened ones even need basic cardio? Does that make any sense at all?" Xiang Yu snorts. Mocking him looks like Ma Long got his brain scrambled. "Wake up. The reason the four of us are roommates is incredibly simple. We are all the lowest tier in our entire grade. That is a hard, unchangeable fact." Shang Zuo raises his voice even louder. "Hey, I am ranked 4th from the bottom, making me the strongest guy in this room. Everyone only gets to awaken a single class in their lifetime. Those other two are just trashy supports, while I am a core mage, the only combat class in this entire dorm. That is the reality you cannot change. And thinking a pathetic loser like Chen could awaken a lightning assassin class is a total joke." He brags, flexing his muscles lately. "I feel way stronger. Maybe I can even get into a top club after tomorrow's test. After all, tomorrow is the final tier evaluation before graduation, and that is when the truth comes out. Meanwhile, check this out. Elsewhere, an E-rank dungeon trial just wrapped up, and Gong Ting is strolling out. Hands in his pockets, he declares the trial over, but his eyes quickly lock onto Gong Cheng waiting nearby. "What are you doing here?" he asks, confused. Gong Cheng grits his teeth, his face twisted in pure hatred. "Brother, if you do not handle this, I cannot sleep tonight. He humiliated me in front of everyone, which basically means he has zero respect for you." Gong Ting sighs, sounding totally annoyed, but finally answers, "Fine, I will take care of it." Cut to a quiet room, where a half-carved plate of meat sits on the table. Ling Yuji looks at him curiously. "How do you plan to handle this?" Gong Ting shrugs it off if he is weak. Who else is to blame? Then he asks, "Is that guy really as strong as he claims?" Ling Yuji calmly breaks it down. "You already know every single student's tier and exact power level in this school. Fewer than 10 people reach D rank, and you already recruited all of them. Plus, no one else even gets access to the dungeons. Average awakened ones can never level up, so nobody can catch up to you." Meanwhile, under a heavy downpour, Chen is quietly pushing his limits. Strapped with a 100-kilogram weight, he runs 20 kilometers, each step heavy as lead but never stopping. He knows basic training boosts physical strength, and an awakened person's power limit directly depends on their raw physical condition. Without a strong body, even the best class is totally useless. But still, he is nowhere near satisfied. This is far from enough. Dark memories of the future flood back. In year 60, the Demon King of Wrath broke his seal, descending upon humanity. In the blink of an eye, he slaughtered countless lives, and he is the monster who murdered his sister, his only family left. Her desperate cries for help still echo in his head, and it was Wrath who tore open the gates of hell, unleashing the other demon kings upon this world. Now watch his eyes. That icy focus means his first target is set. He is going to kill Wrath. He only has 3 years left, and his enemy is definitely growing at a crazy rate. To rewrite fate, he must move faster. Right then, his phone suddenly rings. Chen pauses, pulling it out to see his sister Si-Yun calling. He picks up, his voice dropping low as he says hello. On the other end, a familiar voice asks, "Why did you call me so much today?" "My phone died during my exam, and I just plugged it in back at the dorm." Then she cheerily adds, If I win the prize this time, our rent is totally paid for. Hearing those words, Chen's chest tightens up. In that pitch-black future, he begged countless times for a fresh start. Now it is actually happening. But then Yun asks, "Is it raining over there? Why are you so quiet?" Chen takes a deep breath, swearing to protect her at any cost, and softly replies, "It is nothing. I just missed hearing your voice." She laughs, totally confused, saying, "Why are you being so weird? Did we not just talk the day before yesterday? Let us meet up after my exams and wait for my good news." With that, she hangs up. Standing silently in the rain with dark eyes, Chen knows this is where everything truly restarts. He keeps running 3 more laps, pushing to get stronger as fast as possible to protect everything in front of him. 8 hours have passed since he came back, and he is finally getting used to this younger but still pretty weak body. His biggest problem right now is leveling up. To get strong, he has to enter the dungeons. But those places are hogged by the top guilds, leaving regular folks with zero access. So how can he hunt monsters? And what on earth is this gluttony power anyway? Just then, a cold mechanical voice suddenly rings right inside his head. System booting up. Initialization complete. The gluttony system is now fully activated. Before Chen can even react, the space around him warps, dragging his body through a blurry void. By the time he opens his eyes, he is standing in a totally bizarre place. Ahead lies an eerie, dark path stretching out forever. Chen frowns, instantly putting his guard up. Where is this? He was literally just asleep a second ago. Staring at the weird tower ahead, only one question fills his mind: what is this thing? He glances all around. The whole scenery is completely foreign, nothing like any place he has ever known. But check this out. The mud ahead squelches as a giant mantis monster crawls out. The air freezes as the system rings. Class transition in progress. Chen immediately realizes a monster. Is this actually a dungeon? The voice cuts off. Class transition complete. Level 1. Lightning Assassin class. No time to overthink. He quickly focuses up because whatever this place is, he has to take down the bug in front of him first. Electric power surges through his body, activating lightning flash as current crackles all over him. It pools into his arm, forming a razor-sharp blade of pure light. Suddenly, a swarm of mantis monsters erupts from the mud, but Chen does not slow down. He blurs forward like lightning, slicing straight through their ranks in a split second. A fang flies into the air as dark blood splatters. With his current strength, these E-rank weaklings stand absolutely zero chance. A notification pops up: 3 mantis fangs. This is way too realistic, not some dream. Plus 52 experience. His status screen instantly updates to level 2, boosting every single stat by 5 points. Chen clenches his fist as his eyes light up, realizing the best part is that he can farm these monsters completely solo. Glancing back at the remaining monsters, he just smirks. Time to abuse this system. As the slaughter continues, the system rings non-stop, plus 320 experience. Level 3 Lightning Assassin. Loot acquired, 18 fangs and 1 crystal. This leveling speed is honestly stupid fast. Especially when he destroys the elite leader, the absolute mountain of experience instantly shoots him up 2 levels in a heartbeat. Just then, a new prompt flashes: devour option available. Chen freezes, absolutely stunned. Devour. What does that even mean? Is this the real nature of his gluttony power? His screen shifts to devouring as he grabs the glowing orb. The details pop up. Mantis King, Cloud Warrior class, Frostbone physique, immune to ice. Absorbed monsters will be converted into cards. Chen is stunned. He cannot just kill them. He can literally swallow them whole and steal their classes. His eyes tremble as the surrounding area suddenly begins to blur. A familiar presence flashes the chilling aura of the Demon King Lanyu. Chen panics. That power belonged to the Demon King, but now it is his. Normally, players only get 1 class, but right now he is holding 2. And if he keeps devouring, his classes could theoretically become completely infinite. But get this, before he can even wrap his head around it, a terrifying pressure completely crushes the area. You finally arrived, been waiting. Boss warning triggers, and Chen tenses. In this world, ranks go from E to S. In his past life, he bled just to reach S rank. Right now, he is barely a weak D rank, while the terrifying monster standing right before him is a literal S rank boss. What makes zero sense is why an S rank monster is here, and how it knows his name. The battle erupts. Chen gets absolutely dominated, but the boss holds back on vital spots, almost like he is playing with his food. After dozens of clashes, the boss stops still resisting. Chen realizes the boss wants him to submit. The monster continues, "You should rethink my offer. Stay and guard the tower with me." Without hesitation, Chen responds, "There is no way in hell I am staying in this cursed place." Suddenly, a blinding sword strike cuts through the air, nearly taking him out. The boss sneers, "You think I kept you alive just because you got here." Around them, monsters rise from the muck. The boss growls final warning, "Submit or get crushed." The system inside Chen screams, his power spiking. Gritting his teeth, his killing intent explodes, "I choose." With that, his body blurs like lightning, his only goal being to end his opponent. The enemy sneers mockingly. Yet, in this pure chaos, Chen stays completely focused and sharp. He spots a clear pattern. Every sword swing has a 0.4-second delay, followed by 0.2 seconds recovery. Capitalizing on that tiny window is his only shot. Instantly, his electric blade charges up, aiming straight for the heart. The lightning erupts, paralyzing the target. It won't kill an S-rank boss, but it buys him a few crucial seconds. Without hesitating, he triggers Lightning Flash, turning his body into pure electricity. He had already scouted the area and spotted a single light source, his only way out. He reaches out, almost touching the light, then just when you think he made it, it vanishes. Then, that chilling voice echoes from behind, "Sorry, kid, but that exit is just an illusion. This place is no demon nest." He steps closer, sounding pretty impressed, yet, "You managed to read the gaps in my attacks incredibly fast." Impressive, keeping your cool to find a way out even at absolute rock bottom. You really might be our only hope. Right then, his memories rip wide open. Chen finally realizes the truth. This is his final battle with Lan Yue from his past life. Luo Sha's eyes gleam with a deadly light, his entire frame suddenly locking up in a freezing aura. Back in that war, he constantly swapped between countless overpowered classes, each transformation bringing enough raw power to crush any opponent. Wasting zero time, Chen leaps forward with a heavy kick, but Luo Sha instantly shifts forms to retaliate. As his opponent begins channeling raw energy, Chen already backs off to create some distance. Darting his eyes backward, an unforgettable image suddenly flashes vivid and clear through his mind. Another form of his emerges, looking like a literal demon from hell, that exact look, complete with a creepy purple glow above his head. And right there, it clicks for Chen. Luo Sha was once completely devoured by Lan Yue's gluttony power, the exact same power that now lives inside his own body. Chen freezes, his voice barely cracking as he wonders if this place is actually inside himself. Luo Sha laughs, sounding quite impressed with him. "Excellent combat skills and a sharp mind to match. You truly deserve to inherit everything here," Chen blankly mutters back. "Inherit everything here?" Luo Sha holds out a glowing key, explaining that it unlocks the demon tower, where Lan Yue sealed countless vicious beasts. The absolute strongest are sealed inside that tower behind you, and your job is incredibly simple. Devour them all, making their power your own. A system prompt flashes, "Time Rift key acquired." Chen takes it, his eyes still clouded with doubt. "Why are you helping me?" Luo Sha's voice drops. "There is good and evil even among demons, and those demon kings slaughtered my entire clan for their own greed. I have waited ages for revenge, and now I have finally found you. You are our sole hope, the only one who can pull this off." Those words only make Chen more wary. Who exactly is this guy? But Luo Sha offers no answer as his body slowly fades away, leaving behind one final clue. Every single answer lies inside the demon tower. Go find them yourself. Take my power and unleash your revenge. A surge of purple light shoots from his hand directly into Chen, erupting with insane energy. The system announces he has hit level 10, acquiring the Luo Sha bone relic. Chen bows his head, whispering, "I got it. I will carry your legacy." He stares closely at his new Purgatory Luo Sha status window. His eyes turn icy cold. A debt of blood must be paid in blood. Suddenly, warm sunlight streams through a window, and a familiar voice snaps him back to reality. "Get up, hurry." Chen bolts awake in bed. Xiang Zuo and Xiang Yu are rushing around, getting their uniforms ready for today's grading exam. Looking around, he is totally confused. Wait, is he actually back in his old dorm room? Checking his body, every single injury is completely gone. Was that whole crazy experience just a dream? But opening his system screen confirms the absolute opposite. All his levels and items are completely intact. He actually jumped to level 10 in just one night. Chen frowns, wondering what rank this translates to, when Xiang Zuo suddenly pops up right in front of him, smirking. He sneers, "Heard you got some praise last night. Got stronger. You trying to steal my spot as the dorm's number one?" Ma Long stands nearby, too quiet to speak, as Zhang Zuo barks at them to get moving since the exam is starting. They head out, with Zhang Zuo bragging nonstop. Our dorm is strictly E rank, but even then, each rank has 3 tiers. You guys are just low tier, while I am mid tier, so there is a massive gap. I could easily take on 10 of you at once, got it? He keeps hyping himself up, saying he might even rank up today. Ma Long leans in, whispering to Si Chen, you better go all out and scare him with a D rank. Si Chen stays completely silent, his gaze dropping a D rank, huh? The group soon arrives at the packed hall, leaving Xiang Zuo totally stunned. In the center, a massive billboard displays the Awakener University grading ceremony. Everyone is almost here. Right then, Jiang Bai and his lackeys show up, flexing their cocky attitude so hard that the crowd instantly clears a path. But the moment his eyes lock onto Si Chen, his entire body freezes up. He bows down deeply and yells out, Big Brother Si Chen, you are finally here. Everyone watching is completely speechless. Xiang Zuo stands there frozen in shock, while Ma Long just scoffs like he already knew. Si Chen says nothing, keeping his hands in his pockets as he walks, but he does not get far before someone blocks him. Student Council Officer Jiang Di. He smirks with cold eyes. Heard you picked a fight with Gong Cheng yesterday. Do you even know whose brother he is? That is Student Council President Gong Ting. Xiang Zuo and his buddies instantly tense up. Jiang Di steps closer. Dripping with heavy pressure, my nose is sharp. I can always sniff out the strong. Leaning in to corner him, he sneers, but you only smell like someone stuck at the bottom of society forever. But Si Chen reply instantly freezes the entire room. He coldly asks, are you a dog? Jiang Di flies into a rage immediately, screaming out, what did you just say? But just as things are about to go completely out of control, a calm voice echoes from a distance. Jiang Di stops as Gong Ting walks over, looking cool and collected with incredibly sharp but rational eyes. He states he checked the facts, and the fault lies with Gong Cheng. Mistakes have consequences. Hearing this, Jiang Di bows his head, not daring to argue. Understood, President, Jiang Di mutters. Gong Ting says no more, silently scanning the crowd before locking his gaze on Si Chen. Their eyes clash in dead silence, heavy with tension. Right then, an announcement cuts through the thick air, breaking the spell. The grade evaluation test is about to begin. Students, please step forward in order. Gong Ting turns away, saying, let us go, time to test. Thinking Si Chen is no big deal, Jiang Di quickly scurries after him. Up above, Ling Yuji watches the scene quietly with a smirk. This test might actually get pretty wild. Time passes, and the first name called is Xiang Zuo, triggering a loud wave of cheers from the crowd. Despite being a bit nervous, he enters the portal into the simulated dungeon where the energy-absorbing core awaits. He unleashes everything he has got, blowing up the core. As data flows out, the portal suddenly shifts colors. The screen displays a mid-E rank result. The teacher notes it down, but everyone is waiting for the real deal. But look at this. Ma Long nervously explains that potential is the absolute limit a person can ever reach. The stats flash rapidly before locking on potential C. With evaluation complete, Xiang Zuo walks out looking pretty depressed. He clearly did not improve much over the last 2 years. Before Ma Long can even comfort him, a new result blasts out, breaking the whole mood. Current grade is low D rank with potential B. The hall instantly goes wild with cheers. The first D rank of the year is officially here, getting everyone hyped as the competitive heat reaches a boiling point. Just moments later, Jiang Di struts out of the testing portal, looking smug as hell as the speaker blares evaluation complete, current grade low D rank with peak potential level A. The crowd instantly gasps. Ma Long holds his head groaning, while Xiang Zuo facepalms against the wall in absolute disbelief. That is already the 8th D rank student. Up above, 2 teachers whisper while staring at the crazy data board. This year is seriously built different. Look at that massive number of D ranks. Sure, they are only low grade, but for rookies with 0 real combat experience, this is insane. The other teacher nods in total agreement. Usually, only 2 or 3 students reach this level per graduating class. If this keeps up, today is going to be one hell of a show. Right then, the steady click of leather shoes draws everyone's eyes back to the portal as the announcer speaks up. Next up, Gong Ting. He steps out casually, fixing his tie with a swagger so dominant it practically crushes the air out of the room. The crowd goes wild. Get ready, his turn is finally up. The student council president and heir to the Imperial Guild, he is a certified genius. Meanwhile, Si Chen just stands there, cold and completely unmoved. People whisper that 2 years ago, he already secured a solid D rank. Since the school record is only mid-D rank and today is capped at low D, Everyone wonders if he is about to absolutely smash that record. Inside the portal, the closed-eye core suddenly twitches as if sensing danger. Gong Ting walks closer, looking incredibly confident. In his hand, while secretly scheming, he only needs to show a fraction of his true power. Saving the big flex for graduation combat will get the max hype anyway. Even holding back, this level is more than enough to crush everyone. Outside, the data board starts spinning like crazy, but then a sudden shift makes the teachers freeze. The potential color flashes from white to gold, an incredibly rare phenomenon. The screen locks in high D rank with S-tier potential. Instantly, the entire arena absolutely detonates as students scream their heads off. High D rank is already light years ahead of everyone, but possessing an S rank potential is practically unheard of. Jiangdi and his crew just stand there, mouths wide open, completely unable to hide their pure shock. He really is the record breaker. Ma Long screams out in pure excitement. For Zhangming Academy to produce an S-rank potential means we are witnessing history. Xiang Zuo grabs Xiang Yu, screaming and laughing at the same time in pure, jealous despair. Up above, the teachers immediately huddle up to discuss. This insane result must be reported to the higher-ups right away. An S-rank talent is an incredibly rare asset for the entire nation. Gong Ting walks out of the gate to roaring cheers with a smirk on his face, clearly thrilled with his result. Up in the stands, the observers cannot hide their satisfaction either. A true genius has indeed emerged. But nearby, Ling Yuji gently shakes her head, keeping her eyes locked onto someone else as she speaks in a low, mysterious tone. Compared to Gong Ting, I am actually looking forward to that other guy's performance more. Down below, Chen stands perfectly still, head slightly bowed, completely unaffected by all the loud chaos echoing around him. And here we go. The announcer finally calls out Chen as the next tester. He slowly raises his head with a deep look like a real storm is coming. Jiang Di stands there laughing without a single shred of shame, looking at Chen like he is a total joke as he mocks him. Kid, make sure you try your absolute best and do not embarrass our dorm. Then he bursts out laughing, throwing in another nasty jab. If you end up with a low E-rank result, that will be quite a sight. A whole room of low to mid-tier trash is just hilarious to him. He glares at all four of them, spitting out venomous words. With your pathetic skills, you will only be a laughingstock during the combat exam. Hearing this, Ma Long trembles in pure rage and stutters out a quick comeback. Just wait. Chen is definitely going to make you eat your words. But Chen does not say a single thing, like silently walking straight toward the testing gate, his calm vibe making it impossible for anyone to guess what he is planning. Xiang Yu watches his retreating figure, his heart shaking with deep doubt. Can he really pull this off? Inside the testing chamber, Chen approaches the magic core, and this mindless object suddenly trembles slightly as if sensing something incredibly wrong. At the exact same time outside, chatter about the graduation combat exam makes the tense atmosphere even heavier. This is the ultimate, single opportunity for most awakened ones to get noticed by the major guilds. Teams have a limit of 10 people, and the winners get recruited directly by the Imperial Guild. Because of this, everyone is scrambling to form alliances. Jiang Di throws his arm around his buddy, bragging that their team has already secured 9 D-rank members, making victory basically guaranteed once Gong Cheng joins. He laughs out loud. The strong stick together, and the weak are only meant to be weeded out. This rule never changes. Meanwhile, Ma Long stands below, growing more anxious by the second, eyes glued to the gate, wondering why Chen has been inside so long without making any noise. Snickers begin to echo around the area, and some even turn around and walk away, assuming Chen's test ended ages ago because he is just too weak. Jiang Di looks totally bored too, waving his hand to call everyone over to hang out somewhere else. But wait, look, the giant data board above suddenly flickers. Characters spin wildly, then stop. A massive D rank flashes on screen, followed by high tier. The entire crowd falls dead silent before completely exploding. Ma Long screams at the top of his lungs, "High D rank, did you see that? I told you so?" But before the joy can spread, a robotic voice blares out, "Magic core is unstable. Potential system error. Retesting required." Inside, Chen looks at the info board and quickly realizes his basic level 10 strength is already on par with a high D rank. He instantly swaps classes, a flash of electricity sparks, and he shifts into the Zhengchang King. This time, the resulting rank leaves everyone utterly speechless, a mid-C rank. Jiang Di stands outside, his face completely pale, stuttering in utter disbelief. Wait, a C rank? What is going on? Even the teachers are losing their minds right now. The system keeps flashing system error warnings, but this only makes Chen even more confident in his theory. If his absolute weakest class already hits C rank, then the other two forms must be way beyond that. Without hesitating, he activates another class swap. This time, he unleashes the Purgatory Rakshasa class, sending a suffocating aura through the room, making the entire testing chamber shake to its core. Chen clenches his fist, his gaze turning icy cold. All right, let us see where my actual limit really lies. Inside the chamber, the demon core snaps its eyes open, trembling wildly as sweat pours down like absolute rain, as if it is facing something completely beyond its ability to endure. The sky above instantly turns pitch black, and a massive vortex forms right in midair. Thunder roars and violent winds howl, making it look like the apocalypse has descended right in the middle of the school. Outside, Jiangdi looks up and screams in absolute panic, "What the hell is going on here?" Meanwhile, Xiang Yu clasps his hands, his voice trembling but full of hype, a heavenly anomaly. Today will definitely go down in history. Our dorm is probably about to produce an absolutely earth-shattering monster. Up on the data screen, the numbers start spinning wildly, changing yet again. A glowing gold S pops up on the potential screen, making an old professor instantly scream out in pure shock. Another S-tier beast is born, and even Gongting loses his cool, completely frozen in place. But hold on, it doesn't stop there. The gold suddenly blurs into a bleeding red as alarms scream out, "System error!" Tons of S letters flood the entire screen before locking onto a line that breaks everyone immeasurable potential, completely breaking the system's limits. Standing below, Jiangdi goes totally pale, his eyes practically popping out of his skull. Right then, the testing gate shakes violently and just straight up explodes. Panicked teachers rush inside, screaming out to ask if the student is all right. But the second they see the scene, they completely freeze. The demon core lies motionless, completely lifeless. It is dead. While those two are still busy inspecting, Chen casually slips out of the gate. He looks totally chill, acting like absolutely nothing happened, with only one quick thought in his head. Maybe he went a bit too hard, but he got something way more valuable in return. A clear system alert pops up right in front of him, devour successful. His gluttony skill has completely swallowed the A-rank demon core's powers. Stepping out of the gates, the light hits his face. Chen's eyes glow as his new skill instantly activates. In his vision, everyone's ranks are laid bare, and his gaze locks right onto one specific guy's head. Gongting is a mid-tier C rank, so the guy was hiding his strength. Too bad for him, Chen is way past that now. Outside, two teachers scramble to make up an excuse. They claim the demon core just died of exhaustion, meaning today's test is officially postponed. Chen's data might be glitched, so the rest of the kids will have to retest tomorrow. Right after that, his three roommates rush over and hug him tightly, not caring about the rules. To them, Chen is a total prodigy. But their vibe check gets cut short when Jiangdi struts over, sounding incredibly smug. No way that was real. A loser like you getting C rank is a joke. He keeps yelling, blaming Chen for breaking the core and ruining the test for everyone. But this time, Chen doesn't stay quiet. Curling his fingers, a faint yellow spark begins to crackle. His eyes turn freezing cold as a deadly thought crosses his mind. Should he just cripple this clown right here? Right then, Gongting steps in, looking serious. He tells Jiangdi to back off, turning to Chen with a smooth, calm smile. He offers an invitation as if he's planned this entire thing. Join my squad for the final graduation test, and we'll easily shatter every single high score out there. Chen just stands there, staring right through him without saying a single word. But his eyes go incredibly dark, like he's calculating a move that will change the entire game later on. Standing behind him, Ma Long can't hide his shock, whispering that he can't believe Gongting is personally scouting Chen. This is totally unheard of. Jiangdi looks absolutely miserable, his mind spinning out. If Chen actually joins their squad, someone is getting kicked off the team. How is he supposed to explain that to the other guys? The top spot on the graduation exam was practically guaranteed. Everyone was dying to get in, and now some loser is just stealing the spot. The more he thinks, the madder he gets. But with Gongting watching, he forces a fake smile, putting a shaking hand on Chen's shoulder to save face. He tries to fake a welcome, but Chen immediately slaps his hand away. His icy, blunt response is just not interested. Yeah, you heard right, the entire place goes dead silent. Jiangdi stands there completely frozen, unable to believe his ears, while even Gongting frowns, clearly shocked to get rejected so hard. Jiangdi totally snaps, screaming out if Si Chen even knows what he's turning down. Their squad is literally the strongest in school. But Si Chen doesn't even bother looking back, coldly telling him that it's none of his business before walking away. Before leaving, he glances back at Jiangdi with glowing red eyes, sending a wave of sheer terror through him. "You are too loud. Stop annoying me." That icy threat makes everyone around them literally shiver in fear. Ma Long quickly runs after him, leaving a stunned crowd behind. Whispers break out everywhere about Si Chen actually turning down Gong Ting. He's got insane guts. That guy is literally the student council president. But some people start wondering if he is planning on grabbing that top spot all by himself. After all, hitting a mid-tier C rank means he's definitely no joke. Meanwhile, Xiang Zuo and Xiang Yu are laughing their heads off, mocking the absolutely priceless look on those bullies' faces. Watching them look ready to murder someone feels incredibly satisfying, while Si Chen just stays quiet, ignoring all the chatter. The four of them quickly leave the noisy hall behind. Up in the stands, Yuan Long sighs, wishing those two had teamed up to set an insane new record. Ling Yuzi just smiles, eyes full of amusement, noting that it's way more fun because they are on different sides. This is nothing short of an open declaration of war. Gong Ting has always looked down from the top, never facing a rejection like this. His pride definitely took a major hit this time. Sure enough, Gong Ting loses his cool composure, eyes flashing with a faint, icy glare. Beside him, Jiangdi still fusses, unable to swallow his anger as he mutters curses. He blames everything on a machine glitch, but Gong Ting snaps back with a dark question: what if it was not a glitch? Even if the chance is incredibly small, he will never let anyone steal his #1 spot. Jiangdi catches on instantly, bowing and offering to deal with Si Chen, but gets hit with a chilling counter-question. "Do you really see me as someone that petty?" Making him break out in cold sweat as he quickly denies it. Gong Ting says no more and turns to leave, his voice flat. "I am not in the mood today. Do whatever you want." But before walking off, he casts a backward glance, dropping a loaded hint: "Whatever you do has absolutely nothing to do with me." And look at that smirk, Jiangdi gets it instantly. The hint is crystal clear, giving him the green light to play dirty without a single word. Soon after, he chills on the stairs as Jiang Bai reports that Si Chen has just left the school. The target is heading straight home without even eating. Hearing this, he crushes a soda can, his grin turning twisted. Talk about perfect timing. Off campus is the ultimate playground to handle this. This time, he is not just planning a simple warning. Si Chen walks into the trading center looking completely calm, but his brain is working overtime because in his past life, this spot becomes the nation's biggest resource hub. Right now, it is the perfect first stepping stone for his master plan. Selling off those low-grade items is just an appetizer. 10,000 coins might be small, but it covers his immediate needs. But what is really going to flip the script is this massive greatsword he pulls out next. Xiao Chang laughs it off as pure junk, while Xiao Li takes a guess, maybe B tier, or maybe even higher, possibly A tier. But those guesses are completely shattered by a man who just walked in, Qingji himself. With just one sentence, the entire room freezes up. This is S-tier gear, and the vibe shifts instantly. Our boy Xiao Chang stands frozen, pale as a ghost, while Xiao Li stares wide-eyed, completely unable to believe her own ears. S-tier gear is something even top guild leaders fight to get their hands on, yet here it is with some poor college kid. Qingji does not hesitate for a second, grabbing Si Chen's hand with a total shift in attitude. He welcomes him warmly, inviting the esteemed guest into the private VIP room. This is no longer some basic trade, it is a serious high-level negotiation. Si Chen just smirks, knowing the big fish has hooked itself. In his past life, Qingji was an absolute powerhouse. He was the mastermind behind the entire Mithril Guild, controlling a massive web of elite resources. To get quick access to dungeons and slip into restricted areas, having a guy like this in your pocket is crucial. And now, this heavy hitter is voluntarily bowing down to him. Inside his private office, a hot cup of tea is poured. As Si Chen sits across from him, Qingji breaks the ice, asking if he has any specific plans for this weapon. He answers calmly with 1 million. Qingji double-checks in shock. Only 1 million? You must realize A-tier gear already fetches millions on the open market. An S-tier weapon like this easily goes for tens of millions. It is practically priceless and would start actual wars. Si Chen clarifies, "I want to use this S-tier gear as collateral to borrow 1 million, then reclaim it next month." Qingji freezes up using an S-tier weapon just for a quick loan. This is definitely not how a normal college student thinks. He has zero intention to sell, planning to use it later. This kid is either some undercover heir or an absolute prodigy. Either way, he is a force to be reckoned with. Chen continues just 1 month. I will pay it back with 10% interest. How is that? Hearing this, Qingji instantly gives an order. Sending Xiao Li out for a moment, he waits for the door to shut before speaking slowly. If I am not wrong, you are a graduating senior at the National Awakened University. From what I know, your practical graduation exam happens in a month, and the top prize is exactly 1 million, matching your desired loan to a T. He smirks, meaning you are already completely confident you will take first place. Qingji stands up, eyes narrowing. It is obvious he could just wait a month for the prize, yet he is rushing to pawn a priceless item. This proves he desperately needs cash right now, maybe even cornered with his back against the wall. Check out this bold move. I can lend you 1.5 million in cash right now, completely interest-free for a month, so let us be friends. Chen is slightly stunned by this unexpected offer. Qingzi smiles, winking and telling him to relax since he will keep everything completely confidential. He only asks that for any future trades, Chen gives his guild priority, promising to always offer the best possible rates. So what do you think? Chen is genuinely impressed. This guy figured out his whole situation and needs based on just a tiny shred of info. Instead of lowballing him while he is desperate, he actually offers a better deal just to build a solid long-term relationship. No wonder this guy eventually turns the secret silver exchange into the absolute #1 trading hub on Earth. Defeating the Wrath faction is not a solo job anyway. He needs to find some pretty reliable allies to team up with first. The moment they lock in the deal, the air in the room completely shifts. A glowing magic circle sparks under their feet, sealing the contract. Qingji holds up the contract with a pretty satisfied smirk, confirming everything is official and the money has been sent. Chen glances at his phone. Seeing those sweet numbers pop up finally lets him breathe. But Qingji is still pretty curious. He looks Chen up and down, asking directly what he plans to use for the graduation exam, now that his best weapon is pawned. Offering to hook him up with Tier B or even Tier A gear if he needs any extra help. Chen just shakes his head, shutting him down. But then, he raises his hand, and a bright light suddenly flashes out. A second weapon, identical to the first, appears right in his grip. His casual comment that he just has a spare leaves the entire room dead silent for a few seconds before everyone drops their jaw. I mean, come on. This guy is literally hacking life at this point. Even Qingji completely loses his cool composure after seeing that. Walking Chen to the door, he keeps muttering about how insane it is for a kid this young to be so loaded. He turns around and immediately promotes Xiao Li on the spot for landing such a VIP client. Just when you think the deal is wrapped up though, stopping right outside, he turns back like he suddenly remembered something, casually telling them he wants to buy more stuff. Soon after, he is riding a taxi toward the long-distance train station over in Shangshang County. Standing in the crowd, old memories suddenly hit him. In his past life, being broke made things incredibly hard for him and his sister. Back then, he had not even awakened yet, so he had to grind through random odd jobs just to survive. Their bank account? Always sitting at zero. They had to count every single penny. He still clearly remembers the day Si-yoon got her admission letter, only to quietly crumple it up. It was not because she lacked talent, but the academy was too far, and she refused to be a burden to him. So she gave up college entirely. Back in the present, Chen stands at the station with a heavy heart. His sister should have arrived by now. Just as he turns to go find her, a very familiar voice calls out from behind, asking how many times she has to tell him to wait at the exit. Si-yoon jogs over, pulling her suitcase while catching her breath. It is the exact same lively look and cheeky attitude he remembers. Chen totally freezes, his eyes wide as he stares, unable to believe she is actually standing right there. The girl he failed to protect in his past life is right in front of him. Without saying a single word, he just runs and hugs her tight. This sudden hug completely confuses Si-yoon, but to Chen, this is the exact emotional moment he has been waiting 7 long years to experience. He lets out a rare, relieved smile, thinking how glad he is to finally see her again. But Si-yoon does not get the emotional weight of this. She just thinks her brother is acting super weird today. Wiggling away, she tickles his ribs until he is forced to let her go. Tossing him her bag, she teases him about getting rejected since his head has been in the clouds lately. Chen quickly denies it, but she just laughs it off and drags him toward the exit. On the way back, she chatters endlessly about how brutal and stressful her upcoming exam is going to be, while he just smiles and listens warmly. Honestly, you can tell his mind is completely locked in. He will absolutely never let his little sister suffer or lose out on anything ever again. Meanwhile, in a dark, empty alley, The student council gang is already waiting, led by Jiang Di. Looking pretty annoyed, he stands there as his lackeys nervously warn him. They worry they might go too far and cause trouble, but Jiang Di just sneers. He only planned to rough him up slightly, but Chen's attitude was just too irritating. A literal bottom-tier E-trash acting all high and mighty? He even had the audacity to talk down to him. Recalling how Chen basically told him to shut up, Jiang Di grits his teeth in rage. He immediately orders his gang to beat Chen within an inch of his life. They want to cripple him completely so he misses the graduation exam. Being the top cloud class assassin in school, this is just child's play to him. Meanwhile, Chen and his sister are still strolling back home, but Yun can't shake the feeling that her brother is acting really strange today. It is totally not like him, and she even wonders if the exam pressure is finally getting to him. She tries to cheer him up by rambling about random things, even repeating the exact advice he once gave her about catching life's big breaks. Humming a random tune, she makes him chuckle as this incredibly warm feeling washes over his chest. She is pretty sharp just seeing him again, and she already notices the change, but she still has no idea that everything is different now, and their miserable, struggling life is officially over. Right at that second, Chen's sharp instincts flare up a crystal-clear warning of danger. He immediately senses someone tailing them from behind, and it is definitely those student council guys. No need to look back to know who it is, his mind turning ice cold. How dare they follow him here? Without a word, Chen pulls out some earbuds. He gently slides them into Yun's ears, his voice staying completely chill as he speaks to her. There is a really cool song lately. I want you to hear it. She is slightly surprised, but quickly gets lost in the beat, totally oblivious to the threat. As for Chen, he slowly turns around, his gaze shifting into something incredibly dark. And right here, watch how this silent battle kicks off the moment the music drops. Using his skill, the stats of the guys in front of him pop up clearly in his vision. They are no longer just ordinary students. They are targets. As the beat starts building up, crackling lightning energy begins to swirl heavily around Chen's body. Flashes of his past life race through his mind. Back then, he lost his very last family member. Now that he is reborn, he finally has a second chance. And these punks dare to touch what he protects. In a literal blink, Chen lunges forward. His first brutal kick sends one guy flying back, face completely warped. Before they can even process this, panic sets in, but he gives them zero breathing room. His rapid strikes are a total blur, crushing them down one by one like absolute punching bags in seconds. One guy desperately tries to blindside him from behind, but the instant he reaches out, Chen grabs his arm and snaps it with a sickening crunch. Before the agonized scream even leaves his mouth, a follow-up punch lands, completely shattering his face. The music keeps flowing, turning this entire fight into a savage, one-sided slaughter. With every beat drop, another body hits the floor, and just look at Jiang Di back there, his confidence evaporating into pure terror. He cannot comprehend what is happening. This weak trash he looked down on is actually this monstrously strong. Within seconds, his entire squad is laid out flat on the ground. Chen slowly walks toward Jiang Di, closing the gap between them step by cold step. Jiang Di starts stuttering, trying to bluff by bragging about being a high-level Cloud Summit assassin, but his voice has zero energy left. The first punch cracks down, snapping his neck sideways and sending him flying, and before he can even stand, Chen is already looming over him. Another heavy fist smashes his jaw, instantly disfiguring his face. Then comes a relentless, merciless combo, each hit packing a wave of absolutely devastating force. Smashed until his teeth shatter and his eyes roll back, his body gets tossed around like a rag doll. Finally, Jiang Di is thrown back, crashing hard into the dirt as dust explodes everywhere. He lies there gasping. Through blurry vision, he sees Chen approaching like a literal demon from hell, those cold, glowing red eyes staring down as his voice cuts through the air with crushing pressure. I told you, do not mess with me. Do you not understand plain English? Absolute despair washes over Jiang Di as he lies there, feeling his bones shattered to pieces, his legs completely numb. Only one terrifying thought remains: that test result from earlier was actually real. Chen is definitely not a D rank. He trembles, opening his mouth to beg for mercy, but he gets cut off instantly. Chen coldly tells him to shut up, say one more word and he is dead. That terrifying glare sends a shiver straight down Jiang Di's spine. For the first time in his life, he knows for a fact this guy will actually kill him. Terrified out of his mind, he stares at Chen like he is a monster, unable to comprehend how a mere student has such terrifying bloodlust. Chen leans down, his eyes dead cold, engraving every single word right into the guy's skull. You better remember this carefully. I do not care what trashy things you guys do, but never show your faces in front of me again. Especially, never drag my sister into your mess. A cold blade slides across Jiang-Di's cheek as a warning carved deep into his soul. If you ever show up again, I will make every single one of you vanish from this earth. Jiang-Di can only nod desperately, completely paralyzed by intense pain and sheer terror. Standing up, Chen tosses the knife aside and walks away, leaving behind a completely broken, ruined shell of a man. In the distance, the song in Yun's ears winds down to a quiet, lonely melody. She stands perfectly still, tears suddenly streaming down her face for no reason. It is just a simple song, yet it makes her chest feel so heavy, touching something deep inside. She wonders why her brother feels so distant lately, as if he has gone through a lifetime of pain without her knowing. Without hesitating, she spins around to complain, only to find Chen standing right behind her already. He is holding a gift box, smiling warmly as he hands it over as if nothing happened. Here you go, my little Yun. Her eyes instantly light up when she opens it, the newest magic tech pen. She is completely thrilled yet totally confused. She asks where he got the money for such an insanely expensive gift. But behind Chen's calm smile, his hand, still stained with blood, quietly tightens. He has only one thought in his past life. He failed to protect her. His sister's dreams were crushed back then, but this life is different. At home, Yun happily tests her new pen, drawing shapes that float in midair. She plays with it like a kid with a toy, while Chen eats noodles and watches her, giving her a rare, warm smile. Seeing her happy is more than enough. Still, she worries about their debt, but he promises the rent is fully covered. He claims it is just some business with friends. A pretty weak lie, honestly. Yun looks at her brother, highly skeptical but keeping quiet. Because that smile of his, something gone for so long, has finally made a comeback on his face. She gently sits right next to him, places a hand on his shoulder, and speaks softly. Whatever happens, just do not push yourself too hard. Chen nods silently, offering no explanations. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, the vibe is completely different. Jiang-Di gets rushed to the hospital. It is bad, really bad. More than half the bones in his body are shattered, and even the best healers cannot get him patched up in time for the final exam. Gongting stares at his aquarium, his expression darkening at the report. He never expected Jiang-Di to go after Chen alone, let alone end up completely wrecked. Sitting quietly nearby, Ling Yuji speaks up, noting that he is definitely going to miss the graduation exam now. And honestly, Gongting does not even care about his teammate, coldly dismissing him with a shrug. He mutters that losing a useless weakling actually makes their team cleaner. Right then, another man approaches Gong Xuan, the high-ranking career director from the National Awakened University. He looks at Gongting, his voice dropping at his Chen again. The internal test results confirm he really hit rank C, making him the only one in the entire school with a higher grade than you. Hearing this, Gongting flinches for a split second before regaining his cool. Gong Xuan quickly issues a warning. Their family has invited the Alliance Vice Chairman to watch this graduation exam, so they absolutely cannot let anyone steal his spotlight. Sighing, he mentions that the vacant spot in the team should go to his own niece now. Gongting chuckles confidently, saying his uncle is overthinking things if they really believe he was going all out during that mock test. Just wait for the real battle. He will show everyone who is truly at the top. Cut back to the dorms late at night, where Chen just finished showering, his mind constantly calculating his next moves. Today's training is done. The cash issue is temporarily sorted out, and with everything on track, he just needs to crush that graduation exam. Landing that 1 million reward will wipe out his debt to Qingji, and keeping that connection alive is going to be vital later. Lying on his bed and staring at the ceiling, he knows he only has 1 month left to level up as fast as possible. The moment he closes his eyes, a familiar sound echoes in his mind, booting up the system and instantly shifting the space around him. Chen suddenly stands before a massive gateway, the Magic Tower. The system brings up his latest stats. Even his weakest class has already reached rank C, and while his S-rank Purgatory Rakshasa class is powerful, it has not shown its full strength, leaving the system unable to measure it accurately, meaning his real limits are still an absolute mystery. Chen pulls out a key, and a blinding light erupts as the system confirms it is a triple S-rank rift key. The key activates. The heavy magic tower gate creaks open, releasing an ancient energy that shakes the entire room. He steps inside, his expression calm but filled with anticipation. Let's see if our guy can actually handle what is waiting behind this door. But the very second he crosses the barrier, Chen freezes in his tracks. The scene ahead is totally unexpected, not a normal battle zone, but a place that feels both familiar and deeply terrifying. Frowning, he wonders what on earth this area is. Stepping right through the tower gates, Chen is suddenly thrown into a massive, chilling void, the Starfall Deadlands, where every single breath feels like a suffocating weight on his chest. Instantly, an invisible pressure slams down on his body, forcing his knees to buckle as he nearly collapses right on the spot. The gravity here is completely abnormal, running nearly 10 times heavier than the outside world, making even the slightest movement feel like dragging a massive boulder. This is not a normal test. It is a brutal trap specifically designed to crush his limits. With the exit gate gone, there is no turning back, and his only ticket out of this place is defeating the boss of this floor. But under these brutal conditions, his combat power is choked down to barely 30% of his normal strength. If he cannot adapt fast, failing is only a matter of time. While Chen is still scanning the area, a sudden wave of bloodlust closes in, as a massive phantom beast with a ferocious glare roars and charges straight ahead, ready to tear its helpless prey to shreds. No hesitating, he swaps classes instantly. His body gets buffed, sending his speed and reflexes through the roof. But even with that buff, the crushing gravity here still drags his every move down to a crawl. The beast lunges with insane speed and power. Chen barely dodges, sliding hard across the dirt. Zero time to waste. He counters instantly, swinging his electric blade right at its neck, but the result freezes him cold. He missed the weak spot. No paralyze effect. In a high-stakes fight like this, a slip-up like that is fatal. The Phantom Beast capitalizes immediately, slamming its massive weight on him and pinning him down until he can barely breathe. That's when Chen realizes his speed-focused assassin build is pretty much completely useless under this crushing gravity. But he doesn't panic. His eyes stay ice-cold and focused. Just as the beast opens its jaws to tear his arm off, Chen completes his swap to Purgatory Rakshasa. In just one breath, the tables turn. With his strength and stamina absolutely exploding, he flings the massive phantom beast away like a ragdoll. He's not the victim anymore, he's the apex predator. Heavy sledgehammer punches rain down on the beast. Each blow weaponizes this zone's insane gravity to deal absolutely devastating damage. Chen doesn't give it a single second to breathe, continuously hammering the monster straight into the dirt. But as he gears up for the finish, he spots something absolutely mind-blowing. Under this heavy gravity, his punch power is actually amplified by 60 times. One final slam cracks the entire stone floor open, completely deleting the phantom beast for good. Chen pants heavily, his arms bleeding from the clash, but his eyes stay sharp and dangerously cold. The system chimes in he's obtained the phantom beast bone, boosting his experience and leveling him up from 10 to 11. But victory isn't what makes him frown, it's the sheer abnormality of this room. There is no devour prompt, and zero signs of a gateway to the next floor appearing. The whole room goes dead silent. A spine-chilling thought suddenly flashes through his mind. Is something seriously wrong here? Right on cue, a tiny white crack rips open the air, rapidly expanding into a dimensional gate right behind his back. Chen whips around, his pupils instantly shrinking. This isn't an exit passage inside the portal. Countless eyes are slowly opening, all staring directly at him. Something way more monstrous than that previous boss is preparing to step through. Sensing the sudden anomaly, a chilling realization flashes through his mind. Wait, what if the actual dungeon boss hasn't even spawned yet? But what answers him isn't a single boss, it's a straight-up endless nightmare. A literal tide of phantom beasts floods out of the rift, their eyes bloodthirsty and their killing intent suffocatingly thick. Chen freezes. He had to go all out just to kill one of those things, and now they are just trash mobs. Before he can even move, the pack swarms him, with one beast sinking its fangs right into his shoulder, while the others pile on, tearing and gnawing at his flesh like he has cornered prey with nowhere left to run. Staring death right in the face, Chen finally understands the true weight of the words the Purgatory Rakshasa once told him. Once that door opens, what awaits him isn't quick power, but a lifetime of endless suffering. But through the agonizing pain, his will refuses to break. A cold voice echoes in his head, endure it all, conquer it all. Suddenly, the illusion shatters, and Chen bolts awake in his bed, gasping for air like he just crawled back from hell, his shirt soaked in sweat with sheer terror still lingering in his eyes. He checks his body. Everything is completely intact, but that agonizing phantom pain felt terrifyingly real, as if his flesh was actually still being shredded. Clenching his fists, his gaze slowly hardens with determination. There are absolutely zero shortcuts to becoming strong. No matter how lonely or brutal this purgatory path gets, he is going to walk it. And this is just the beginning. Fast forward to Friday, May 20th, Year 7, at the massive National Awakened University Hall. The hype is completely off the charts as every single student packs the room, prepping for their high-stakes graduation combat exam. Up on the spectator stands, Gong Xuan sits sipping water, glancing down at the crowd like he is watching some entertaining little show. The kids are gossiping like crazy. Word on the street is that top execs from the Guild Alliance are watching this live. Chen sits quietly in a corner, taking it all in. He knows exactly why the rules changed. Every squad needs at least 5 members, including one high-tier E rank. This isn't just some standard graduation exam, it's a straight-up public talent scouting event. The second Gong Xuan announces that rank results are sent to their smart bracelets, the crowd goes wild. Everyone scrambles to check their stats, with system screens popping up to show their names and official ranks. But then Ma Long gasps in shock. Something's wrong. Looking at the screen, he freezes. Chen is only a low-tier E rank. It wasn't just Ma Long, everyone nearby instantly caught on to this weird anomaly. He literally got a clear C rank earlier, but now he plummeted to the rock bottom. Whispers quickly morphed into loud mocking. Turns out the machine actually glitched before, because how on earth could a loser like him score a C rank anyway? The whole vibe instantly flipped from shock to absolute disgust. Some guys even regretted ever thinking about joining his squad. In an all-important exam like this, nobody wants to drag around some totally deadweight E rank. Meanwhile, over in another corner, Gong Ting silently watches the whole drama, staying quiet, while Gong Xuan sports a sly grin with eyes full of schemes. The old man planned everything out early. His nephew is still way too green, clueless about wielding real power and manipulating people. This time, he will show him with just a tiny bit of rigging. His rival won't even get to step onto the stage. The instructor's voice booms out, cutting straight through all the noisy chatter, ordering everyone to lock in their squads now. But the rush only makes the hall crazier, and the crowd swarms toward Gong Ting like a broken beehive. People beg to join, others nominate themselves, some even lowering themselves completely just to secure any tiny spot on his team. Constant brown-nosing and begging echo non-stop, making the crazy hype in the room feel absolutely suffocating. Annoyed by the noise, Gong Cheng barks at them to shut up, reminding the crowd they only have one last spot left. After some serious chaos, Gong Ting's squad finally locks in. 5 guys fist bump as a blue light flashes, and the system confirms their team up. Meanwhile, over in a gloomy corner, the vibe is totally opposite. Chen's squad is still struggling to pull together 5 members. Ma Long sighs in complete frustration, asking group after group, but literally nobody is willing to join their squad. Xiang Zuo holds his head in pure panic. If they can't find 5 people, they won't even qualify for the graduation exam. Honestly, you and I both know Chen's earlier display was way too beastly to end up at rock bottom, but the brutal reality is staring them right in the face. The rules require at least 1 upper-tier E rank. Since their dorm has 3 lower-tier E ranks, they are basically being completely isolated. Chen just watches the whole thing in silence. He instantly connects the dots. This is definitely no accident. Someone is deliberately targeting them from the shadows. Right then, another squad calls out to Xiang Zuo, offering him a spot to fill their last slot while throwing some petty shade. They sneer that staying with his current trash team is basically career suicide. It's an absolute dead end, and if Xiang Zuo just says yes, he's saved, while the remaining 3 guys would be totally disqualified from the game. But after hesitating for a second, Xiang Zuo chooses loyalty, turning them down flat because he won't abandon his dorm bros. This rejection pisses them off, so they stomp away. Ma Long spirals deeper into despair, realizing almost every squad is full and their chances are basically 0. Chen still stands there without saying a word, but his cold gaze starts shifting. He looks up at Gong Xuan on the stage, the rules director who belongs to the exact same clan as Gong Ting. Suddenly, everything makes perfect sense. Changing the rules, tweaking the ranks, all of it was to block his path and keep Gong Ting totally safe. But Chen doesn't even flinch. Instead, he gets this insanely quiet calmness that is honestly pretty terrifying. If they are going to play dirty so openly, then he is officially done holding back. You don't need a stupid exam to prove your worth. With that thought, his aura surges, and his class change finally completes. And watch this, before Ma Long even realizes what's happening, Chen steps right out. His freezing gaze makes everyone instinctively step back. See, there's an unwritten rule in this academy: anyone can trigger a one-on-one duel anywhere, anytime. This is literally the most direct way to prove your strength. It's an incredibly bold provocation that most sane people would dodge, but one guy definitely won't back down from this. Every single eye locks onto Chen, and the air grows incredibly tense. Gong Ting stands there, his expression darkening as he reads the play. Beat him in front of everyone, and all the doubts vanish, making their petty behind-the-scenes tricks completely useless. As Chen's words fall, his freezing gaze sweeps the crowd, ready to use raw power to force them to listen. But right as the tension hits its absolute peak, a girl's voice suddenly rings out, cutting through the silence. Ling Yuji steps out with a confident little smirk, asking directly if his squad still has space because she wants to join. As those words land, the whole hall erupts in sheer shock. Nobody expected the vice president to join the weakest squad. She casually adds that she has been D-ranked since middle school, so she definitely won't be some deadweight drag on their team. Ma Long and Xiang Zuo stand there completely frozen, absolutely unable to believe their own ears. Over on Gong Cheng's side, jaw drops all around, while even Gong Xuan almost chokes on his drink, seeing things spin totally out of control. Whispers instantly explode across the hall. From Ling Yuji's mysterious background to her status as a genius from the Shenge Kingdom, her sudden arrival completely rocks the entire crowd. But Gong Xuan quickly snaps back to reality. He immediately hides behind the rules to block her, claiming as an exchange student who skipped evaluations, Ling Yuji has absolutely zero right to compete. Tension instantly spikes. Suddenly, Principal Yuan Long steps in, freezing the entire room in a state of absolute shock. He doesn't just show up. He takes a stand for fair play, smoothly shutting down Gong Xuan's stiff and uptight rule following. His tone sounds pretty gentle, but every single word hits directly where it hurts. If a student loses their shot over some technicality, it is the school that has to take the blame. Gong Xuan shuts up. He knows damn well his scheme was completely exposed. Forced to back down, he rewrites the rules on the spot, letting unqualified teams join the fight after all. That instantly flips the mood in the room. Without saying a word, Chen simply fist bumps the other three guys. Squad confirmed. Xiang Zuo is literally jumping for joy right now. Ma Long throws an arm around his shoulder in pure excitement, instantly handing the captain role over to Chen. From above, Yuan Long watches silently with a faint look of curiosity, while Ling Yuji just smiles as if everything is going exactly to plan. We have the strongest lineup in history led by Gong Ting versus the absolute weakest squad in school. This crazy contrast has everyone dying to see how it ends. Right after, the system tells captains to choose their dungeons, but before anyone can react, a sudden lock-in alert rings out. Someone locked in. Everyone whips their heads to the screen, freezing as Chen's name flashes right at the top. Panic-stricken, Ma Long grabs him, begging him to cancel it. Xiang Zuo turns pale, clutching his shirt and screaming, "Do you even know what you just selected?" But Chen stands unfazed, dead silent. He is completely locked on the screen, calculating his next move. Let's be real, this graduation exam is no longer a simple test. It is a straight-up war zone. For the first time, they must squad up and enter real dungeons where one mistake costs everything. No room for error. You only get full credit by wiping out every single monster. Kill the boss, take the ultimate prize, but fail, and all your hard work goes to waste. Time is ticking too. Move lightning fast for high scores, but lag behind and your points plummet instantly. Here is the catch. The tougher the dungeon, the bigger the bonus, but the danger level also spikes to a whole new level. A bad pick is a death sentence. Usually squads only dare touch rank F or E. On paper, rank E can hit 100 points, while rank F caps much lower. But the real prize is what drives everyone crazy. The top team gets scouted directly by the Imperial Guild. As for the absolute best performer, they land a manager position plus 1 million in cash, an instant life changer. You can feel the tension in the room winding up super tight right now. Veteran watchers remember that the all-time high record is just 90 points, set by a legend who now runs a major power. Even a rank E dungeon is so tough that it usually takes several rank D players to clear. So everyone assumes that if anyone breaks the record, it will definitely be Gong Ting. But right in the middle of their gossip, the system chimes. A team locked in their choice shockingly fast, and the name on screen leaves everyone absolutely speechless. It is Chen's squad, and their shocking choice instantly pops up. A rank D dungeon. The hall literally explodes, because no student has ever dared touch that insane level before. Some assume he misclicked, while others flat out call him a psycho. His squad is terrified. Ma Long grills him while Xiang Zuo is ready to bolt, but Chen is creepily calm, quietly stating that he has thought this through. Before the dust settles, Another shockwave hits. Gong Ting's elite squad also locks in rank D. This isn't an exam anymore. It is war. Around them, the mocking laughter starts. People mockingly claim his crew will fall apart because nobody wants to join a suicide run. Then the unexpected happens. After a long, heavy silence, Ma Long is the first one to speak up. Since we stuck together for 4 years, let us go all the way to the end. Xiang, you nod since we are at the bottom anyway. Why not bet it all? Even Xiang Zuo, though shivering, grits his teeth. They have to graduate somehow. As the system locks in their agreement, Chen is genuinely shocked. He admits he picked rank D just for the MVP, dragging them all into danger. But they only get a cold, decisive brush-off. Once you step onto this boat, there is no turning back. Right then, Gong Ting steps up with eyes like daggers, straight up claiming the MVP title as his. Chen turns and stares right back without flinching, and without a single word, they both know this war is officially on. Even outsiders like Ling Yuzi and the principal are locked in now, watching the absolute strongest team clash with the underdogs. This supposedly weak crew is risking it all on the most dangerous path, with only half a month left before the exam. While the other squads are busy simulator training, Chen drags his team to grind seemingly useless drills like running, dodging, and building raw, explosive reflexes. Everyone is just complaining and confused. But he makes it clear that inside a real dungeon, it is fear and slow reflexes that kill you, not a lack of skills. Simulator training is nothing more than basic theory. When you face a brand new monster, everything falls apart unless your body adapts instantly, because survival comes down to raw instinct. This training isn't for show, it forces the body to move before the brain can even process. And trust me, what he says next hits deep. Resources and real opportunities always belong to the elites born at the very top. They will pay any price to keep the gap wide, leaving the empty-handed with only one option, risking their lives to climb up. When Xiang Zuo asks what they should do, Chen has a clear answer: break into the Empire Guild and shatter their class limits. And this graduation exam is their absolute only shortcut to the top. With 0 options left, he looks at his squad and declares they must win this time. As Chen practically vanishes from normal life with only 15 days left, he dives straight into the Dream Tower. Every single second inside pushes his body to the absolute limit as he charges through the crystalline void, slashing the illusion summoner while taking a bloody claw wound to the face. Time waits for nobody, and every passing day is paid for in raw sweat and blood. With 10 days left, memories flash of Chen and his team pushing themselves to utter exhaustion. Their legs feel heavy as lead, but they push on, shouting about 5 more laps through ragged breaths before snapping back to reality to unleash a lightning-infused blade strike. On the other side, Gong Ting is also training like a maniac with razor-sharp sword strikes, 2 different paths converging on the exact same showdown. 5 days left, and a sweat-soaked Chen grinds through heavy squats, counting 101, 102, knowing there are no shortcuts to power. 3 days out, Gong Ting's eyes burn with pure bloodlust as his blade glows hot like fire. His vibe is no longer that of a student, and with 2 days left, the system reveals Chen hit level 16, boosting his lightning assassin stats. But it is still not enough. Just 1 day left, and covered in brutal injuries, he stands ready. His cold gaze is terrifying as he whispers that the real war starts now, and on June 17th, Year 7, the practical exam begins. Inside the waiting room, drones hover overhead, constantly buzzing with official instructions. Checking gear and syncing bracelets, the suffocating tension rises as everyone knows this isn't just a test, it is a massive turning point for their lives. Outside the office building, high-ranking figures begin to arrive, with Principal Yuan Long personally welcoming them. Even the Empire Guild leader shows up, leaving the watching students completely stunned by the sheer power dynamic. But when a man steps out from the back car, the entire place goes dead silent. Cavendish has arrived. He is the deputy chief of the Guild Alliance, a legendary figure you would be lucky to see once in a lifetime. His presence proves that catching his eye changes your entire life instantly, as Gong Xuan steps up to announce 184 students split into 28 teams. Most pick F-rank dungeons for safety, with a few brave ones choosing E-rank. But what shocks everyone is that 2 teams chose a D-rank zone. Even the Guild Alliance officials frown at the extreme danger, but the decision is locked in and cannot be changed. Live feeds show the action as lower-level students in the F-rank zone struggle against basic mobs. Over in the E-rank zone, normal mobs are as strong as mini-bosses, causing panicked groups to drop out. But that is just the warm-up. But watch closely because in that D-rank dungeon where Chen is heading, things get real. Arriving at the cloudy peak, a creepy bat monkey demon with a twisted grin blocks their path, its hostile glare sending cold shivers down everyone's spine. Chen instantly recognizes them as pack-hunting cloud beasts, known for flying at extreme speeds and launching highly dangerous aerial swoops. Just as expected, the whole swarm dives down in a flash, sending everyone scrambling to dodge the sudden strike. Some are rolling aside, others leap away, and some just cover their heads in absolute panic. Yet somehow, nobody takes a fatal hit, and before they can even process why, a dead bat monkey demon slams into the snow followed by another, and another, leaving them totally speechless. In a split second, Chen shreds 3 apprentice-level monsters all by himself. He doesn't even break a sweat, calmly speaking up in a quiet voice that somehow cuts right through the howling wind and roaring beasts. "You guys aren't strong enough for this fight yet," he tells them. "Just stay back and focus on keeping yourselves alive." Right after, a crackle of lightning sparks around his body. Cold blue light rips through the air. His voice is sheer iron. "Leave the rest to me," he says. Instantly, the battlefield descends back into pure chaos as monkey demons rain down non-stop, forcing the squad into a desperate struggle just to dodge and block their relentless attacks. Xiangzuo stumbles. He crashes back against a tree, totally frozen in complete shock. It suddenly hits him like a truck, as the truth washes over him. Chen never actually expected them to back him up. All he wanted was to force them to stand on their own feet and survive. The real fight was always his. Meanwhile, Chen is absolutely tearing up the front lines on his own, pushing his speed, reflexes, and raw power way past their limits. Every blade strike is cold and precise, yet the monsters just keep flooding in. Wave after wave, he keeps pushing forward, growing even more dominant with every single step. Absolutely crushed. He is flattening the whole zone on his own. Now this is where Xiangzuo finally gets a taste of that insane power gap. He did not believe Ma Long before when he said Chen was strong, but seeing it live makes him realize this is not just strength, it is a whole different level. A guy like this does not feel like a student at all. He is a hardened warrior who has survived 100 death matches. Pure chaos. A monkey demon suddenly lunges at Xiangzuo. A warning yells out, but it is too late. Just then, fire rips through the air as Xiangzuo snarls, his hand bursting into bright red flames to grab the beast by its leg. Ma Long gets the cue instantly, standing tall amidst the chaos. They cannot just lay back and leave everything to Chen. With that, he unleashes his frost aura, spreading a bone-chilling cold that slows the monster down to a crawl. Xiang. Yu charges in next, binding the target with thick vines. Even if the beast breaks free, those precious seconds of crowd control are all they need. Seizing the opening, Xiangzuo roars, channeling every ounce of his power into a blazing fireball before launching his explosive flame shot. Boom! A massive blast completely swallows the demon, and the monitoring drone system immediately chimes in to officially confirm the successful kill. They collapse, gasps for air, but their eyes are glowing with pure excitement. For the first time, they actually know what it feels like to take down an apprentice-tier beast themselves. Xiangzuo sits up, exhausted but wearing a smug grin as he looks at Chen. "See that?" he brags. "You are not the only badass here." Chen just gives a soft smile without a word. Eyes fixed ahead, nice job. Notification clears. Every single minor monster in the area has been completely wiped out. Back in the observation room, Gong Xuan's jaw drops, totally unable to believe his eyes. No way, those kids obviously had zero real battle experience. Gong Lin stays silent, his eyes darkening as if he is calculating some deeper, hidden agenda. Look at Cavendish over there, just watching Chen on the main screen. A smirk plays on his lips as he mutters that this kid is pretty interesting. Then his eyes narrow, spotting something strangely familiar. Why does he remind him so much of an old acquaintance? Cavendish tilts his head, staring at the feed before slowly asking if his name is Chen, saying he remembers now. Just those simple words make the entire room go dead silent. Gong Lin flinches for a split second, while Gong Xuan feels a sudden chill run down his spine, visibly freezing up. Snapping out of it fast, he quickly changes the subject, pointing at another screen with a forced laugh to tell them to look over there. The other team that chose the D-rank dungeon is already pushing deep inside, and on screen, an intense clash is raging. Zis adjusts his glasses, analyzing their tight formation, noting that their flawless coordination looks exactly like a pro-guild raid squad. Cavendish lets out a soft hum, leaning back with clear interest, murmuring that this year actually has some pretty decent prospects. He bows, smirking. But inside, his mind is cooking up something else. The game is just starting, he thinks. The real fun is yet to come. Meanwhile, a D-rank spore dungeon is erupting in absolute chaos, with Yinling standing right in the center. Playing her harp alone, each dark note sweeps back the toxic mist with shadowy winds, weakening all enemies with her ruinous melody. Right after, he raises his hand to blast spiritual energy, launching the mushroom monsters into the air before shouting for his captain. Instant strike. His blade flashes like a streak of lightning, a few clean slashes completely turning the spore beasts to ash. Once everything settles, he calmly sheathes his sword. Watching the battlefield fade away, He starts putting the pieces together in his head. These monsters are identical to the ones from their previous drills, totally predictable. He begins to believe everything was rigged from the start, pick the right backer, and the road ahead is already paved. Gong Cheng is right there, nagging him. Go fight the boss! Meanwhile, we cut to Chen's squad trapped in a massive blizzard on Yunshan Mountain. The wind is absolutely howling, and the sheer pressure of the magic makes it hard to even breathe. Chen stands dead still, his eyes narrowing as he looks ahead, his voice dropping low. Looks like we actually reached the peak of this rank D dungeon. Right ahead of them, the massive ice demon ape lies in the snow, breathing heavily but still looking incredibly dangerous. Ma Long goes totally pale and stutters. Is that the final boss? It looks terrifying, and Xiang Zuo feels the same, laughing weakly that just one hit would kill him 10 times over. Right then, the beast snaps its eyes open, its bloody red gaze scanning the area. Ma Long panics and screams out, "It's looking right at us." Without hesitation, the ice demon ape charges like a hurricane, sending everyone scattering in total chaos. But Chen jumps high into the air and stomps straight down on its head. Chen doesn't back down, launching a brutal kick that sends the beast flying backward. Once his feet touch the ground, he flashes forward in a streak of golden light, moving so fast it basically rips space apart. Its target howls in pure agony, but its screams are immediately crushed by the insane, explosive power bursting all around it. Sharp streaks of light rain down like invisible blades, shredding the creature's body to pieces before it can even think of fighting back. In a flash, Chen spins and drives his weapon straight through the ice demon ape, ending the entire clash with chilling, effortless precision. Xiang Zuo and Ma Long just stand there, totally frozen, completely unable to believe what just went down. Did a rank D boss really get taken out that fast? A few minutes later, standing in the melting snow and frozen blood, Chen quietly inspects the corpse. The system alerts him that he got 200 experience points and 1 ice ape hide. He frowns, sensing something is way off because the loot is way too pathetic for a rank D boss. But right then, a sudden shout echoes from the distance, grabbing everyone's attention. Xiang Zuo runs over to a massive tree, which is loaded with glowing magic crystals inside. He waves excitedly, his voice shaking with hype, yelling that this must be a mid-grade crystal stash and taking it out means they'll be set for life. But Chen's face drops and he screams at him to wait. But it's already too late, someone has touched the crystals. And right here, you can guess this goes horribly wrong as a weird light explodes, unleashing a freezing wave like a tide. Boom! An ice blast detonates, sealing off the entire area in a massive, thick layer of solid ice. The monitoring screens go pitch black as alarms blare, showing Chen's squad has lost signal. In the observation room, Gong Xuan strokes his beard with a smug smirk, saying it went exactly as expected. They fell for the trap because high-level monsters are actually smart, and losers will always be losers, only dragging each other down in the end. This evaluation is basically over. Cavendish immediately suggests sending in a rescue team, but Yuan Long raises a hand to stop them. Looking calm, she points out their vitals are stable. They haven't given up, and the choice must belong to the trainees. Meanwhile, inside the dungeon, only Ma Long is left standing in the freezing cold, exhaling shaky, frosty breaths. Behind him, his entire squad is completely frozen solid. But before he can even process the panic, the ground shakes, and a massive, deformed monster slowly materializes in midair. It feels like this thing is the true ruler of this place. Memories from his monster manual instantly flash in Ma Long's head, warning of a frost attribute mage that can both attack and trap targets. It completely dominates ice and snow, possesses a sadistic personality, and loves cornering its prey to slowly crush them. Yeah, this is the Frostbone King, and trust me, those earlier ice blasts were just a massive setup. Realizing the massive gap in power, Ma Long has only one thought left, which is to run as fast as possible. But before he can get far, a sharp pain shoots through his leg as blood splatters across the white snow, dragging him down onto the freezing ground. He gasps heavily in pure agony. Floating above, The Frostbone King just watches, letting out creepy sounds like it's mocking its prey. The system sounds a cold warning, alerting him of a deep puncture wound in his left leg and asking if he wants to forfeit. Ma Long grits his teeth, trying to channel his magic while flatly refusing to quit, with only one goal left in mind, saving Chen. He knows that as long as that guy lives, they still have a chance. But then, another ice spike impales his arm, making him scream as he collapses into the snow, blood soaking through his clothes. The shadow of the Frostbone King creeps closer, his survival watch constantly blaring warnings as his heart rate spikes dangerously. This system prompts him to forfeit once again. Ma Long wavers for a second, but then memories of running away and being looked down on hit him. Being left behind makes him clench his teeth because if he keeps playing the coward, everything they sacrificed to get here means absolutely nothing. He lets out a loud roar, shattering all his doubts. He cannot stop here, and in an instant, his power erupts. Activating his unique skill, Ma Long recklessly throws his entire body toward the frozen ice trap holding Chen, totally ignoring the deadly spikes of ice that are already aiming straight at the back of his neck. In this life or death moment, he screams. He puts every shred of his will into this rescue. Right then, the ice shatters with a blinding light that tears space apart. Chen busts out of the frozen tomb, dead center of a massive explosion. The sudden twist makes the Frostbone King freeze up for a split second. Chen flies in, catches Ma Long, and flashes him a casual smile. That crazy escape was just the warm-up, but Ma Long is still stressing out and checking on his condition. But the guy just shrugs it off like it is nothing. Too bad the danger is far from over. The Frostbone King is already prepping another devastating blow. Massive ice projectiles condense, crushing the air with enough raw pressure to collapse space. Another violent blizzard blast erupts, burying everything under thick white snow. But right in the middle of this chaos, a gigantic beam of light bursts from Chen, shaking the entire battlefield. Ma Long is completely flabbergasted. This insane power is way off the charts and looks nothing like his original class. He is barely done wondering if it is a dual class when the system confirms the switch. Get ready for this. Amid the blinding, expanding radiance, Chen calmly declares that he will end this fight once and for all. Stepping onto the ruined battlefield, he reaches out a hand, his freezing voice cutting through the air. He apologizes, saying his own carelessness put everyone in this massive danger. The moment those words drop, the raw energy inside him begins to surge violently. His sheer pressure weighs down like an invisible mountain. He clenches his fist, magic light flares, and everything is about to break. Right then, the system chimes to confirm his class change is done. Chen is level 16, a Purgatory Rakshasa. His eyes sharpen and his voice drops, swearing he is going to end the monster now. Ma Long just watches from behind, jaw dropped and mind totally blank. Normally, an awakened hunter can only hold one single class, but there is a tiny 1 in 10 million chance for dual-class wielders to appear. They are so incredibly rare that the entire world has fewer than 10. Once they show up, every major guild will fight to recruit them. Yet Chen is not just stopping at dual class. He already had his original lightning assassin powers. Then he unlocked the slaying moon technique, and now his power is evolving to a whole new level. Ma Long feels like his head is about to explode. 3 classes? Meanwhile, lightning crashes onto the battlefield, ripping the ground apart. Chen vanishes from the ground in a blink, launching into the air like a bolt of lightning to close in on the Frostbone King. Ma Long can barely track him. The exact same terrifying pressure that the monster used to give off is now being completely crushed by Chen. With one slash, lightning explodes. The Frostbone King takes a direct hit, his whole body seizing under the shocking voltage. Chen has now entered his astral warrior state. Using triple calamity, his power surges to the absolute limit for another devastating strike. The Frostbone King is ripped wide open, disintegrating right in midair without leaving a single trace behind. Chen lowers his blade, bringing this intense fight to a full end. The system immediately alerts him. Experience increases by 5,000, leveling up to 17, and he obtains the Frostbone Thorn. Ma Long walks over, looking at the leftover skull of the Frostbone King, and cracks a laugh. He says it had to be him, taking down a C-rank dungeon boss with just one single hit. Chen does not reply, only glancing far away to ask if he still has energy for the 2 frozen guys. Hearing this, Ma Long freezes for a second before sprinting off in a total panic. Screaming on the run, he admits he almost forgot those 2 guys. With the battlefield finally quiet, Chen stands with glowing eyes, absorbing the monster's remnant energy. Just look at that progress bar filling up. His power is getting even more insane. He mutters to himself that this Cloud Mage is the first new class he has devoured outside a dream. His eyes dart to the frozen camera from earlier. He frowns slightly, then sighs in relief, glad he did not get exposed to the audience. Still got time, so a perfect score is guaranteed. Right after, a beam of light shoots down, notifying him of a class mastery increase. Chen chuckles, noting he got another star. In another zone of this high-risk D-rank dungeon, the Palace Squad is in a brutal struggle. He screams out while fighting for his life. He yells, asking if this is really just a D-rank boss because it is way too strong. Another member gasps, complaining its defense is completely unbreakable. The monster roars, thrashing wildly across the battlefield. Shrugging off direct lightning strikes, it remains completely unfazed. He gets thrown back, gritting his teeth and yelling that this thing was not in the prep info. Someone shouts to rely on the captain. Meanwhile, reports show that the Palace Guildmaster is still charging up his massive power. Suddenly, the whole area tremors as a calm voice echoes through. Enough of this. Chen shows up. Without hesitation, he dives in, stabbing his blade straight through the giant monster. With cold eyes, he roars out, "Shatter," and the blade explodes with force, tearing through their defense. A massive explosion rocks the area, blinding light covering everything. Down below, the crowd goes absolutely wild. Our guild leader is insane, seriously the best. Then, the system notification rings out. It announces that Gong Ting's team cleared the D-rank dungeon in just 35 minutes. The squad erupts, "We cleared D-rank in 30 minutes, scoring perfect points." The atmosphere completely explodes as a brand new record is set in Academy history. Gong Cheng walks out with a cold sneer, his voice dripping with utter contempt as he mocks the crowd that just escaped. Normally, even a trash F-rank dungeon takes other hunters at least an hour to fully clear. Getting out in half that time? Besides our squad, it is probably just a bunch of useless losers who quit. One guy holds his head, muttering in pure panic, "Monsters, please do not kill me." Someone nearby pulls him back to calm him down. "Chill out, we are already out of the dungeon." Meanwhile, a girl is still shaking, face pale, crying about how terrifying those monsters were. Right then, Wenwu glares toward a group standing off in the distance, a dangerous smirk creeping onto his face. Gong Cheng looks over and sneers. "Is that Chen? Looks like those losers got kicked out too." Suddenly, his eyes widen. "Wait, is that seriously Chen?" He turns to his squad, his voice dripping with sarcasm as he asks if they failed to finish the exam. "Weren't you guys acting all cool before?" Right then, someone yells out, "Gongcheng, turn back. The vice president is here. Let's go greet him." From a distance, Cavendish slowly walks over, clapping his hands with a smile that radiates overwhelming dominance. "Wonderful. Today I truly witnessed a highly outstanding performance." The tension in the air instantly spikes as their eyes lock onto each other. Gong Cheng thinks to himself, this is one of the most powerful people on Earth, and he is actually walking right toward us. But get this, Cavendish just walks right past them, completely ignoring them like they're not even worth a glance. He walks straight up to Chen, his voice full of genuine praise to clear a B-rank dungeon in just 21 minutes. Even veteran guilds can't pull that off. Truly impressive. Gong Cheng stands frozen in place, his face twisting in absolute disbelief. What? 21 minutes? How did those four not only clear that dungeon, but do it so insanely fast? Behind him, Chen's teammates immediately salute greetings, Vice President. Meanwhile, Chen calmly studies Cavendish, sizing him up in his head. The Vice President of the World Guild Alliance, second only to the strongest on Earth. Why is he here in person? Cavendish smiles warmly. You are Chen, right? This trip was definitely worth my time. And the young master of the Gong family did great too. Leading a team to clear a D-rank dungeon at such a young age is seriously impressive. Gong Xuan bows slightly. The vice president flatters us too much. Cavendish glances at Gong Ting, then turns around, calmly stating that it is getting late and he should head out. The crowd starts whispering. Our principal really struck gold this time, scoring 2 absolute prodigies at once. Gong Xuan takes a breath and announces the results. Since 2 teams scored perfect points, both are tied for first place, and everyone is qualified to join the Empire Guild. Ma Long immediately hypes up the Empire Guild. We are actually getting in? The rest of the team roars with excitement, feeling like stepping through this door completely changes their entire future. Gong Xuan continues. Additionally, Captain Chen and Gong Ting will get key management roles, and they will split the 1 million cash prize as co-MVPs. Chen's expression darkens right now. In his head, he calculates 500,000 isn't enough. He still needs another 500,000. And right on cue, Gong Ting steps up with cold eyes, demanding a rematch to settle who is truly number 1. The crowd goes wild again. Gong Xuan frowns. What on earth are you talking about? The exam is over. This is totally unnecessary. But Si Chen steps forward, his voice calm yet absolutely steady. If I win, the whole million is mine. Gong Xuan almost spits out his water in shock. Gong Ting narrows his eyes, not hesitating for a second. If you can beat me, you can have it all. Standing nearby, Cavendish chuckles, thoroughly amused. How interesting. Looks like the show is not over yet. Si Chen takes a step forward, his cold gaze locking onto his rival. Tell me, how do we settle this? Qingji adjusts his glasses, his voice carrying a hint of admiration, but mostly pure, cold calculation. I honestly thought you would just grab first place, but you went and shattered the record with a perfect score. Right now, the entire media is talking about you. Looks like I made an incredibly smart move by investing in you so early on. You can forget about that 1.5 million debt. Consider it my personal investment in you, Si Chen. But Si Chen shuts him down immediately, his voice cold and sharp. No, I will pay you back. Staring straight at Qingji, he continues. I came here to tell you two things. First, I need a 1-week extension on the repayment deadline. Since I tied for first place in this exam, my prize money was cut by 500,000. His eyes do not flicker for a single second. In 1 week, I am having a death match with the other top ranker in the wild dungeon outside the academy grounds. Qingji freezes in shock. Wait, what? You two students are actually planning to enter the wild dungeon outside the campus? His voice instantly turns deadly serious. Without any guild training, doing something like this is just way too dangerous. Si Chen calmly cuts him off, telling him not to worry, since winning that fight gets him the other 500,000, plus he can sweep resources from the dungeon to cover another week of interest. Qingji silently adjusts his glasses, narrowing his eyes as if analyzing some kind of bizarre phenomenon. Seriously, who walks into a wild dungeon with zero fear, only thinking about debt and interest rates? You have got to admit, this guy is not normal. Si Chen takes a sip of water, his voice deadpan as he tells him he brought something else far more important than that cash. Immediately, the room goes dead silent. Qingji stares at him, his face shifting from calm disbelief to sheer confusion, slowly starting to lose his cool completely. Si Chen keeps talking, every single word dragging him deeper into a crazy whirlpool of information he cannot escape. Finally, Qingji cannot take it anymore. He snaps up, eyes completely blown wide with shock. Meanwhile, over at Qingshui High School in Tuang County, it is the afternoon of June 17th. Si Yun stretches with a huge sigh of relief because the exams are finally over. Behind her, classmates are already buzzing, some complaining they completely bombed it, others arguing over the answers. Si Yun pulls out her phone, her face drops, summer break. But right then, she freezes. Today is also the exact day of her brother's big graduation exam. Memories from 4 years ago come rushing back when Si Chen excitedly told her he tested positive for elemental potential, got into the National Awakened University, and could finally become an Awakened. Joining a big guild, making tons of cash, they would change their lives, and most importantly, find clues about their missing parents. Back then, Si Yun was so incredibly proud, fully believing her brother would become the absolute strongest. But as time went on, everyone else awakened. Not Si Chen, nothing happened. Year after year, that heavy silence only grew, but he never let his frustration show in front of his little sister. Suddenly, a classmate runs up. Hey Si-yoon, have you heard? This year, 2 geniuses scored perfect marks on the graduation exam, and the Guild Alliance vice president is welcoming them personally. We are going viral. Si-yoon stands frozen as a wave of sadness washes over her. Everyone else is a genius now, but her brother? She turns and runs off. Leaving her friends calling out behind her, she has only one thought: get home and cook a delicious meal to comfort him. That night on June 17th, inside their tiny rented apartment, the table is packed with steaming hot dishes. Si Chen looks around, totally shocked, asking Si Yoon when she even cooked all of this. Meanwhile, the evening news starts broadcasting on the television screen. Earlier today, the National Awakened University wrapped up their practical graduation exam with the Guild Alliance Vice President, Cavendish, personally attending. She looks down, whispering, acting tough. But the news continues, announcing that 2 dual champions scored absolute perfect marks this year, and one of them is Si Chen. Si Yun freezes and whips around to face the screen, stammering out his name. You can probably guess her shock. Meanwhile, in the shadows, a chilling voice rings out. The stage was set and the crowd was ready, yet everything got totally ruined. The voice pauses for a beat, turning sharp and venomous. Unbelievable. They actually lost to some absolute nobody. The voice drops lower, dripping with pure, murderous intent. From now on, you do not make the calls anymore. I have already set up the practical battle happening in 1 week. A cold laugh echoes, filled with pure arrogance. If you cannot get the job done, I will do it myself. Either way, first place must belong to our family. Back on screen, the broadcast continues. He praises Chen's performance as incredibly impressive, hoping Dongtan Kingdom will keep raising such brilliant talents. Hearing this, Yoon is completely dumbfounded. Wait, is that Chen they are talking about on TV actually you? Chen just keeps eating, asking her what is wrong. Suddenly, her spoon slips, shattering right on the floor. Outside, lightning flashes across the dark sky as panic takes over her mind. Brother! Her actual biological brother did not just carry his entire team to a perfect score on their final exam, he even got personally commended by the top authority of the Guild Alliance. The room falls dead, silent as things get awkward fast. But then, happy tears stream down Yoon's face. Her big, goofy brother is actually a total beast, leaving her incredibly proud while Chen just looks completely clueless. Later that night on June 17th, Cavendish digs into his food, remarking that Dongtan Kingdom's specialty Wagyu is still the absolute best. He asks the woman sitting across from him how things are progressing on her end. Diane reports that this is all the data collected so far, noting they have left 0 traces for the past year, meaning the target might have spotted them. Cavendish tells her good job, and to eat first. Diane continues, explaining she recently flagged a highly suspicious target who interacted with him not long ago, someone whose power growth is just completely off the charts. Inside the tower's first floor, Chen grinds for over half a month, practically wiping out every single monster on this level. By now, he is fully adapted to the 10 times gravity environment. After his graduation fight, his Lightning Assassin class reached 1 star, boosting his mastery. Best part? None of his 4 classes have even hit their limit yet. That star drops straight into his speed stat, cranking it to 740, a wild 4 times boost. But even with that, he still cannot tag the boss, and now a pack of aggressive beasts is roaring in his face. Chen fires back with his Flash God lightning skill, blasting a bolt of electricity that forces them all straight back. That Lion King boss is playing mad dirty every single time he attacks. The coward teleports away, hiding behind some distant female lion. They keep shifting their squad, but stay organized: 2 tanks up front, 2 scouts, and the king always chilling in the back. He refuses to fight head-on. Chen frowns, wondering what class this is. Suddenly, a panther lunges and gets fried by lightning. But the stupid loop keeps going. Every time he targets one, the boss just teleports away, dragging him into an annoying war of attrition. Chen gasps for breath. Is this trash mob mocking me? Then he stops. Wait, why am I even using speed to deal with this? Then it hits him, forget this trash assassin build. His gaze turns ice cold. Class swap time. The surrounding air trembles as his entire aura completely flips. The system completes his Frost Mage transition. Chen's body glows intensely with freezing energy as a cold mechanical voice announces his change to the powerful Frostbone King. He has only one thought left: if you cowards do not want to fight me head-on, why should I play by your rules? Chen snaps his eyes open, releasing a massive wave of pure killing intent. Why shouldn't I just use magic to crush you all? The system screen flashes repeatedly. With his transformation into the Frostbone King fully complete, his holographic status window pops open right before his eyes, displaying his newly boosted stats as a top-tier Frost Mage: speed, stamina, and power. His elemental and mental stats all light up on the screen at once. Chen floats effortlessly in midair, radiating a deadly frost aura that freezes the air around him. Suddenly, a massive blizzard explodes outward, forcing the wild beasts to scatter in absolute terror. The entire battlefield turns into absolute chaos as magical disaster reigns from above, and Chen calmly analyzes their panic while controlling his frost. Melee mages might be weak up close, but they are absolutely broken at long-range crowd control and wearing enemies down. Before those beasts can even turn around, freezing pillars of light crash down from the sky, completely blocking their escape. The ground is completely buried under thick ice, leaving 0 space to run. Some beasts try to break out during the chaos, but find the entire area is already sealed tight. They are forced right into his ultimate strike zone. Terrified roars echo everywhere. Floating high above them, Chen calmly starts gathering massive ice magic in his hands. Preparing his Frost Mage blast, he calculates his move with absolute coldness. Once you are locked in here, you are completely done for. The beasts freak out, their eyes filled with pure dread, but it is already too late. As Chen drops his finishing blow, a blinding blizzard swallows up the entire field. And look at that, those aggressive monsters are now completely frozen solid. The mechanical system chimed again. Your class swap to the Purgatory Asura is complete. His chilling voice echoes through the first floor of the magic tower. With a sharp glare, he unleashes his hidden rage. Let us end this right now. Right after, he triggers his absolute strongest form, Star Warrior, heavy armor edition of the Triple Calamity General. A massive shockwave sweeps across the entire battlefield. When the flash fades, the ground is reduced to absolute ruins. The frozen monsters slowly crumble to pieces, dissolving into the freezing cold air of an eternal winter. Landing back down, Chen returns to normal as spiritual energy wraps around him, displaying his new level 24 status. But something else catches his attention. These monster corpses can still be devoured. Raising his hand as light condenses, his eyes turn dead serious. Tell me what your class really is, he demands. As the smoke clears, the monster's soul is yanked from its body and absorbed. The notification pops up: Phantom Spirit Lion King, Star Whispering Beast. Chen frowns. A beast tamer? This is his first time ever seeing this kind of class, but it quickly makes sense. No wonder it refused to fight head-on. Turns out all of its combat power comes from its contracted beasts. The spatial analysis leaves him deep in thought. This beast has the insane ability to jump through space and force contracts, though it requires absolute suppression first. He mutters that capturing a beast like this definitely requires some much tougher methods. Meanwhile, the surrounding space starts warping, making the layout of the first floor finally clear. Chen looks around. Is this really the original first floor? It is completely in ruins. Suddenly, a spatial rift rips open right in front of his face. The portal to the second floor appears, with a hostile pair of eyes flashing inside. Turning around quickly, he spots a tiny creature hiding inside a pile of bones, watching his every move with extreme caution. He narrows his eyes. Did one of them actually survive? Looking closer, he immediately notices something highly unusual about this thing. The Lion King is dead, but this beast did not vanish, meaning it was not a main contract. It carries mental chains, as if it was imprisoned. Imprisoned, huh? Without a second thought, Chen charges straight in, crackling lightning wrapping around his body. The little lion freezes, totally lost. But instead of attacking, Chen just gently shatters its chains. Go, he says calmly. You are free. His gaze softens, knowing the beast's home is probably gone. He murmurs that he gets the feeling, but at least the cub is alive, so he must keep moving. Right then, the system chimes in, detecting a wild pet contract request initiated by the beast itself. Chen stops in his tracks, looking back at the cub. The system asks if he wants to accept the contract with the mountain lion king Leo. Chen asks in a low, clear voice if the little guy really wants to follow him. The cub lets out a soft growl, loaded with pure determination. It is a silent answer, but Chen gets the message loud and clear. Chen stares before warning him that he plans to conquer the demon tower floor by floor, where the monsters get way nastier, meaning they could get hurt or even die. He asks if the cub is absolutely sure, and the little beast instantly roars back with zero hesitation, radiating pure hype. Chen closes his eyes. He takes a breath and nods. With a sharp, determined look, he accepts the contract. The system immediately alerts him that the contract with Mountain Lion King Leo is complete, activating his passive skill. Chen chuckles and tells the cub to tag along. But stay safe, buddy. You have to protect yourself during battle. Right after, he steps into a fiery, crimson space and instantly senses that something is seriously messed up here. The heavy pressure here is brutal, like simply existing in this room is enough to burn him alive. He frowns, complaining about the crazy heat that feels like it will melt him, while looking around to see what this floor actually holds. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light completely blocks his vision. He instinctively turns away, but in that exact split second, a massive hole is blasted straight through his chest. His eyes widen, pure shock. He has absolutely no idea what just happened to him. Just like that, he snaps back to reality. Talk about absolute terror. He wakes up in his room after getting instantly obliterated without even a fight. Chen grinds his teeth. What kind of crazy power was that? And what actually lives on floor 2? Just then, Yun calls out from outside, telling him to come eat breakfast, and the table is already loaded with food. Sitting down, Chen remarks that this morning feast is looking pretty amazing. Cleaning up, Yun reminds him to wash his dishes and hang the laundry in 30 minutes. Chen asks where she is heading since summer break just started. She smiles and says she got a part-time job. Since her brother is so awesome, she does not want to get left behind, plus staying home is boring. Waving goodbye, she reminds him again to do the dishes and laundry. Chen watches her leave for a long moment before starting to clean up. He thinks to himself that Yoon has always been like this, stubborn but incredibly strong-willed. She is still so young but always tries to be independent, even though she is the one taking care of him at home. Once school stuff is done, he has to deal with the explosive Demon King. Their time together will get shorter, and she is the one person he worries about the most. Suddenly, Chen stops, his eyes lighting up. He closes them, realizing there might be a clever way to handle this. A rift in space rips open right behind him, and the little lion cub plops right onto his bedroom floor. Chen is stunned. He can actually summon his pet out of the tower? Before he can react, Leo is already running wild, tearing his room apart. Chen watches the chaos, realizing this could actually work out perfectly. He can leave Leo to protect Yoon when he is away, and if danger strikes, he will feel it instantly. Since she loves dogs and cats, she will probably accept a little lion cub. Just then, the doorbell rings. He slowly gets up, wondering if she will really accept this wild pet. But check this out, as night falls, a security camera is suddenly smashed. Inside, a bloody man trembles in fear, begging someone to stay back. But his scream is cut short by a brutal strike. His eyes widen in absolute terror as they reflect the monstrous shape of the creature closing in on him. Meanwhile, in another dark corner of the city, another victim is already being targeted. Cut to Yoon walking home, sighing in relief that her shift is finally over. Selling boba tea is seriously busy, and standing all day is exhausting. She mutters to herself, wondering if her big brother will even like this flavor. Walking alone down the long, empty road, Yoon suddenly freezes as a strange, creepy feeling creeps up on her. She spins around as an eerie voice speaks behind her, saying she finally made it. It is Jin Duoksan, stepping out to say he has been waiting for her. He whines that he has been waiting forever, claiming she was in too much of a rush at school to accept his date invitation. But he tells her not to worry, because tonight he booked the entire top floor of the prestigious Zifeng Tower just for them. Yoon keeps her head down, asking how he even knows where she lives. He smugly replies that his dad is the director of the main hospital, so it was easy. Yoon turns to leave, telling him they belong to completely different worlds and to never look for her again. But in that exact moment, Jin Duoksan reaches out and aggressively grabs her arm, his voice twisting with pure anger. Hey, you have any idea how much work it took to book a whole floor at Purple Wind Tower? Plus I invited tons of friends. If you do not show up, you are seriously dissing me. Yoon snaps back annoyed. Why on earth should I respect you? Also, do not you know lurking near someone's house is incredibly creepy? His voice turns totally thuggish, screaming, Creepy? Who do you think you even are? Just because I am pursuing you, do you think you are hot stuff? Jin Duoksan starts threatening her, boasting he could ruin her in literally 5 minutes. But look, Yoon uses all her strength, smashing his bloody face. The girl angrily snaps at him to go get checked at his dad's hospital and stop messing with her, because he completely ruined her day. Night falls, only their house lights remain shining. Oh my god, this cute little magic beast is unreal. Where did you buy him? Chen explains his name is Leo, and she can raise him. The girl is ecstatic, asking if she can really keep a lion cub since she thought only adult ones have manes. Why is Leo so fluffy while being this tiny? Whatever. Tomorrow she is getting his magic beast license, adding Leo to the family registry, and signing him up. He flashes a happy smile. It looks like Yoon absolutely adores Leo, meaning things at home are completely sorted out. Right then, Chen's phone suddenly rings. He quickly pulls it out, stares at the screen, and lets out a subtle smirk at the message. He happily checks the notification letter, realizing his application has finally gone through successfully. Now his grand plan can go smoothly, but first, he has to win that makeup exam in 6 days. 6 days later, on June 24th, 2021, the makeup exam begins at 3:10 p.m. in Greenlight Forest. Gong Swan clears his throat, telling the candidates taking the makeup exam to pay attention as he goes over the evaluation rules. After careful discussion, the school decided this makeup test will take place inside a wild magic dungeon right here in Greenlight Forest. Based on recent scanner readings, this wild dungeon is ranked D tier. As agreed, both of you will be challenged inside this very same dungeon. The environment inside is completely unknown, making the risks far greater than anything the school usually uses to test students. Therefore, 3 high-ranking guild members from Dongtan Kingdom are officially brought in to serve as your exam proctors. They will follow both candidates straight into the dungeon to provide essential protection while scoring your performance in real time based on your results. They are Yi of the Empire Guild, Taiyu of the Divine Eye Guild, and lastly, Sato Yuta, representing the Silver Wind Guild. He specifically emphasizes that your final results will be entirely determined by the scores given by these three judges. Hearing this, Gonglin smirks secretly, hoping the three judges perform well and get the job done without leaving any trace. Someone nearby speaks up, asking if the vice president's trip to Dongtan Kingdom ended 2 days ago, so why is he here? Cavendish gently replies, asking what could be more fun than what is happening right here. Staring at the screen showing Si Chen and Gong Ting, he adds, "It has been years since we last witnessed a duel between absolute geniuses, making this showdown something to really look forward to." Right then, Gong Swan raises his hand high, declaring that the National Awakened University graduation combat exam for class 2157, individual makeup exam between Si Chen and Gong Ting officially begins right now. With that, both of them step together into the barrier, with Si Chen walking through the magical portal connecting both realms. His small figure is swallowed by the massive space, while both Gong Ting and Si Chen cautiously scan their new surroundings. Taiyu speaks up. Dead trees everywhere. Seems like a fire element dungeon. Just then, a strange light suddenly flashes right in front of him. Si Chen stares blankly, his eyes widening in pure shock. His screen displays a high-threat monster alert, and he realizes this is the first time his magic core has issued a warning before the system sound suddenly fades away. Could there really be a high-tier monster inside a D-rank dungeon? Mist rises under an old tree as Gong Ting leads with Si Chen following close behind. Taiyu notes the thick fog, while Sato warns them to stay alert and watch the candidates. Suddenly, a bizarre creature rears up right behind them. It is a venomous cage ant beast. Gong Ting draws his sword instantly, rushing forward like a gust of wind. Sato nods in approval, noting his reaction speed is incredibly sharp, but wild dungeon monsters are far stronger than school-simulated ones, being way more savage and ruthless. The beast spits out corrosive poison, but Gong Ting fires back with absolute precision. His sheer movement speed absolutely stuns everyone watching. And finally, the venomous cage ant is slammed hard onto the ground. Gong Ting's blade glows as he unsheathes it, pointing the tip directly at the venomous cage ant, unleashing his ultimate move, the shattering burst blade. The three judges watch Gong Ting's battle from high above. Taiyu looks at his watch and comments that the moment the beast appeared, he struck immediately, while constantly blocking its long-range attacks. His real-world combat reaction? A solid 10 out of 10. Yan agrees, adding that he quickly located and severed the monster's long-range poison organ, completely shutting down its ability to fight back. That is 10-point combat logic. Sato then chimes in, saying he unleashed a devastating finishing skill without hesitation for a clean one-shot kill. Finishing power? Another perfect 10. Sato also evaluates his performance movement, control, and execution were all surgical. Facing a D-class beast in a wild dungeon, for a student to stay this incredibly calm and decisive is pretty remarkable and outstanding. Glancing at the screen, Sato complains about the other candidate, Si Chen, noting his poor performance. When the beast emerged, he had zero reaction and just wandered around. His score is a total fail. But down below, Gong Ting stays dead, silent. The scene shifts as Si Chen appears on the screen. Kak asks Yuan Long what he thinks the kid is searching for. He replies that he thinks he knows. As his foot steps into the mud, Yuan Long concludes that this is Si Chen's shortcut to farming a high score fast. Suddenly, sparks fly. Found it, he slams his power down. Watch this. Here is where it gets crazy. A massive explosion erupts. Countless monsters are violently blasted away by his force. Taiyu is shocked. Did he just charge straight into the beast nest? Is he insane? Sato's jaw drops. Those are D-class monsters. Doing that puts every single one of us in danger. Gong Ting is completely stunned. Don't tell me he plans to. His foot spins in a circle on the ground. Si Chen releases a wave of terrifying energy. Flash God! The sheer power completely breaks the monsters. Heavily injured by his devastating strike, countless beasts are dragged right into his range and absolutely pulverized into dust. Then, with just one single blow, Si Chen ends the entire fight as the beasts rain down. Sato can't believe his eyes, pulling off his glasses. What on earth did he just do? Sato mutters, didn't his profile explicitly say he was only E-class? Yet he can easily skip ranks and slaughter this many D-class beasts? This is way too overpowered. Yan comments, well, what can I say? This candidate's performance practically cannot be given a low grade. He grits his teeth, or maybe we can say he acts too recklessly with basic moves. Over on the side, Gong Ting suddenly calls out to Si Chen. Kak sees this and bursts into laughter. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, old man. He is loving this. The exam just kicked off, and we are already treated to such an intense showdown. Pretty interesting. I wonder how Gong Ting is going to react to this next. A hand clenches into a furious fist as the screen they are watching suddenly grows blurry. Finally, the feed completely disconnects. Yuan Long is baffled. Why is there another signal issue now? The scene cuts to another location, 4 p.m. outside the dungeon. Sudden warning, sirens blare, abnormal signal. The screen flashes bright red with constant error alerts, leaving Gong Xuan utterly stunned. Huh? Someone screams. What is wrong with this dungeon? A strange blue glow fills the space as they look around in pure panic. The entrance is gone. Meanwhile, inside, Chen is still laser-focused on his task. Suddenly, his eyes widen and he completely freezes. This is, he concludes, the terrifying roar of the wrathful Demon King. 4 p.m. outside the dungeon, Gong Xuan yells that the portal has vanished. The scientist replies they still do not understand the situation. The equipment suddenly malfunctioned. Then he panics and screams to request backup from higher-ups immediately. Could something have gone terribly wrong inside? The shocking development leaves everyone frozen, and Gong Ting also falls dead, silent for a long time. Facing this sudden turn of events, Taiyu asks if anyone hears that. Someone replies there is a weird noise. A creepy screech rises. Chen realizes this is indeed the wrathful Demon King. He is deeply confused. Why is the sound of wrath echoing in this place? Wasn't he supposed to show up 3 years for be repeatedly? Warning of an extremely hazardous beast. His eyes narrow as his demon core triggers another warning. Strange magical runes glow on the ground, and something is lurking right behind them. Chilling, monstrous screeches echo nonstop through the dark, foggy ruins. Sato warns loudly, what on earth is in that thick fog? Tell me you see that creepy silhouette forming too. A beast with eyes burning like fiery embers steps out. Laughing, it rasps in a terrifying voice. Stupid humans, you have walked right into my trap. Sato swings his fist back in shock. This demonic thing can actually speak. Furious at its arrogance, he stands there hurling endless curses. A monster that can speak human language has to be at least a high class. How could a beast like this be inside a D-class dungeon? Sato leaps straight down to the battlefield. A monster of this tier is far too dangerous for mere examinees to handle. He shields Gong Ting and Chen, yelling at them to get behind him. But in that exact split second, a deep slash opens on Sato's wrist. As the shadow blurs past, his entire arm is cleanly severed. The gruesome sight leaves Taiyu and Yan utterly horrified. Slicing him effortlessly, the beast declares that every single one of them. Then, its sharp claws pierce right through Gong Ting. Its tone is absolute, will die right here. Caught completely off guard, Gong Ting winces in agonizing pain from the strike. Yet, Gong Ting decisively draws his sword to fight back, a sudden move that actually makes the monster hesitate for a brief moment. Next up, he spins around and kicks the monster. It slides back across the ground, creating some distance between them. Gong Ting suddenly speaks up, Chen. This boss targeted me first. He emphasizes, the boss priority rule says this kill is mine. You better not get in my way. Those words make Chen freeze. His eyes instantly turn cold and deadly as a system screen pops up mid-C tier. Chen glances at the beast-high C tier. Yan leaps down, yelling that Gong Ting needs medical attention right now. Taiyu chimes in, suggesting they stop this exam and retreat immediately because this boss is way too dangerous for him. But Gong Ting channels his power to block the wound and refuses. No. Chen watches his desperate move closely. He gets it immediately. He is straight up using raw fire heat to cauterize and stop the bleeding. Gritting his teeth, Gong Ting barks out that he rejects the offer. He proudly declares this fight is far from over. The monster opposite him charges without a hint of fear, and both sides clash with absolutely savage, equal force. Outside, Wu Kui speaks up. He explains that dungeon entrances have vanished before. It means a highly intelligent beast is inside, actively baiting humans in, then shutting the gate to trap them all. The guy next to him panics, asking what they should do. Is the gate locked forever? Is Gong Ting still trapped? Wu Kui answers calmly. If they want to reopen that exit, there is only one real way. His voice carries a dark tone. Someone inside must kill the boss. Gong Xuan sighs, noting a D-tier gate has at most a C-tier boss. Since their average strength is C-tier, taking out the boss should honestly be a walk in the park. Wu Kui objects. That D-tier label? Just a cheap disguise for the boss. He warns that according to his data, This dungeon is highly likely the mastermind behind all those missing awakeners they have been investigating for so long. That chilling realization throws Gong Xuan into absolute panic. This B-tier dungeon is standing tall as an incredibly dangerous threat. The savage beast lunges, launching a brutal attack on everyone. Its strikes are incredibly fast and heavy, instantly putting the top fighters on the defensive. Gripping his sword, Gong Ting backs away, sweating bullets as the beast lets out a series of terrifying, blood-curdling screeches. Suddenly, it slashes its claws down. Luckily, his quick reflexes save him as he leaps away. The heavy claws crash deep into the dirt. Hovering above, Gong Ting smirks. Your weakness is finally wide open, you monster. With one lightning-fast slash, he completely decapitates the beast. Its ugly head goes rolling across the cold, hard ground. Everyone freezes in sheer shock at the sudden kill. Taiyu gasps. Gong Ting actually soloed the boss. His power is seriously no joke. Meanwhile, Yan is healing Sato, asking if he has gotten his feeling back yet. Sato nods, thanking him for the quick treatment. But suddenly, Sato's wrist device starts beeping a loud warning. He frowns, wondering why his bracelet lost connection to the outside. Yan chimes in that his is dead too. Taiyu realizes all communications are jammed, and even the local compass is failing. Sato notices the camera drones are fried too. Covered in fresh battle scars, Gong Ting suddenly falls into a deep, uneasy silence. And here comes the craziest twist. The beast's oozing corpse suddenly lunges at his blind spot, but gets sliced into 100 bloody pieces. Chen stepped in with a clean kill, earning 2,000 experience points. Gong Ting is totally shell-shocked. I literally chopped its head off, so how is this thing still moving? Chen explains that this monster was never the actual boss. It was hypnotized from the start, which is why it kept moving after death. You all need to get out of this dungeon right now, or you will be the next ones getting brainwashed. Gong Ting frowns, demanding to know how he could possibly know that. Sato screams, "What absolute nonsense are you talking about? This gate has at most one C-tier boss, and this beast is high C-tier. How could it not be the boss?" Suddenly, Chen freezes as system alerts spam his mind, warning of a high-level threat as a massive wall of dark smoke erupts, blanketing everything. Taiyu is the first to be swallowed by that overwhelming dark energy wave. Next, Yan and Sato breathe it in, immediately losing their minds to the scent. Chen grits his teeth in sheer stress. Chen realizes they are out of time. This particular sound wave? He knows it all too well. In his past life, the enemy used this exact sound wave. He vividly remembers holding Si-Yun's cold body in the pouring rain. This brainwashing method has literally slaughtered millions of innocent people across the entire globe. He stands there watching them shuffle forward like empty shells, completely stripped of their sanity and control, walking straight to their doom. Chen figures it out. The boss of this dungeon is definitely linked to Wrath itself. He decides to follow the group, thinking it is about time they finally meet. And just like that, they all march straight into the pitch-black tunnel. With every step Chen takes, his system screams with violent warnings. The creepy, mutated monsters crawling in the shadows ahead are getting pretty impossible to ignore. Chen glances over at the rotting skeletons left rotting inside those giant egg nests. A strange sound hits him. It feels just like wrath. The hypnosis sound waves operate on wavelength A, but to counter this wrath, I already prepared wavelength B waves to completely cancel them out. These guys have zero defense against hypnosis and could drop dead any second. I need to take this dungeon boss down, fast. Right then, a creepy, savage sound echoes through the dark. That mysterious voice sends a shiver down your spine, flashing a deep, sickening crimson color. Chen stares right back at the monster with a cold glare as the dungeon lord whispers, "Body." Flashback to the past, young Gong Ting is clutching a cheap piece of firewood, completely exhausted and wiped out after surviving a pretty brutal, bloody fight. Back then, Gong Lin just sneers coldly, "Well, look at that. You won again today." His cold voice calls out to the 8-year-old Gong Ting. Then the old man points across the room and barks, "Since you won, go upstairs and eat." He turns his mocking gaze down to 8-year-old Gong Cheng. "As for the loser, you get to kneel here all night." Late at night, Gong Cheng is still kneeling, his stomach growling painfully. Gong Ting sneaks over, slides some bread to him, and tells him to eat. Gong Cheng flinches, looking up to whisper, "Brother, if Dad catches you doing this, you are going to get it." Gong Ting is dead serious. "Shut up and eat." Fast forward, and Gong Ting is spitting blood, his body shaking violently from a savage beating, covered in fresh, agonizing scars. Gong Lin asks with a cold, heartless voice, "Do you know why our Gong family is on top today? Because your father is a winner who never, ever loses." Only the winner gets to write the rules. He spits while you trash exist only to obey my absolute commands. Gong Ting grits his teeth and asks, so if I beat you, do I get to make the rules instead? The old man just laughs mockingly. A second later, Gong Ting's sword shatters into a million pieces, scattering all over the floor. Clutching his bleeding chest, he asks through a coughing fit, "You were the one I challenged. Why? Why did you let the Empire Guild bastards jump me?" The father just scoffs. "My strength isn't just about my raw power, boy. It is about the absolute authority I hold. The real world doesn't play by simple rules, but there is one absolute truth you need to learn." Gong Lin clenches his fist tightly. It is winning. Whatever dirty tricks you have to play do not matter. Only the final result counts. As my son, you have to be the absolute best, no matter what. Throw away your family, your duty, your stupid ideals, whatever. You win, or you are absolute garbage. Winning is the only damn reason you are allowed to exist. Young Gong Ting lies there wondering, is winning really the only reason I should be alive? Back in reality, Chen looks pretty small, standing in the middle of all this absolute chaos. It is definitely wrath. The hypnosis waves are Class A, but luckily, I prepared Class B frequencies beforehand to totally cancel them out and neutralize the spell. The rest of the squad has zero mental protection and could easily get wiped out any second now. I have to kill this boss quickly. Sparks of lightning begin to crackle and spark around Chen's hand, but right then, Gong Ting stumbles forward and grabs his wrist. Clutching his bloody wound, he gasps out, "Wait, Chen, I do not know how you are staying sane and keeping your head clear." Dark blood is literally gushing from Gong Ting's body, splattering hard against the cold floor. He struggles to breathe, but I used my own brutal methods to stay conscious. "Listen, if you show your hand now, you will put everyone in serious danger." Sweat pours down Gong Ting's pale face. "See those monster eggs? If you wake them up, we will be swarmed by dozens of C-rank beasts even before the boss attacks. We will all end up dead, no question." This boss disguised this dungeon as low-rank trash just to lure awakened hunters in and drain them completely dry. His eyes narrow. It is definitely going to come hunting for us directly. We should lay low and wait for the boss to get close, then strike together to kill it. Chen turns away. "I didn't think you had it in you. But trust me, that plan is completely useless. This monster doesn't even need to fight us directly. With one single thought, it can control the hypnotized victims. Look at Sato, he is already pressing his own magic blade against his neck. Over here, Taiyu is aiming a gun at his own skull, while Yan is literally choking himself to death. Thank God Chen moves lightning fast, rushing in to knock them all cold before they do it. The dungeon boss's expression suddenly shifts as it senses something is pretty wrong. It slowly mutters, "Someone put something else in the food." The boss suddenly roars out to his minions, and just like that, the monsters shed their outer skins and reveal themselves. A whole pack of wolf soldiers gets the order to move out, "Kill them," the boss yells, as the horde swarms toward Chen and Gong Ting. He sighs, realizing they have no choice but to use their emergency backup plan. Gong Ting draws his blade, asking Chen for a favor, "Take the other three out of here. I will stay behind to hold off this mob." Those words catch Chen completely off guard. Gong Ting is determined even if he cannot win, he can definitely buy enough time for them to escape. As the monsters charge at them with crazy bloodlust, he shouts out at the top of his lungs, "I was the one who pushed for this extra exam, putting everyone in this terrible danger to begin with." Their attacks clash with a violent burst of sparks flying everywhere, as Gong Ting drags his sword heavily across the shattered ground. Struggling, he grunts, "This whole mess started because of me, so let me finish it." But right behind him, Chen starts stepping forward too. Chen lets out a soft chuckle, "Guess, I totally misjudged you before, but you are not the only one who agreed to this extra test." Stepping up with an absolutely terrifying aura, Chen says, "You have got me too," and he stands right in front to shield Gong Ting. Glaring straight at the dungeon boss with eyes practically burning with rage, Chen points and boldly makes his declaration, "I will handle this guy." But Gong Ting tries to stop him. "No way, Chen, we cannot win this fight. This boss is on a whole different level from us. Its power is way past rank B, and it might even be a rank A monster, so you must take them and run. It is literally our only option left." Chen replies, "Something is definitely off with this boss, but the dungeon gate is already sealed shut. Otherwise, the Imperial Guild would have sent backup by now." Hearing this, Gong Ting is totally stunned. "What? The gate is completely closed?" Meanwhile, Chen's eyes start glowing with a cold, piercing blue light. And check this out, a weird question mark pops up, making him wonder if this thing is actually rank A. then its combat power is definitely on par with the Phantom Spirit King from that tower dungeon. The minion monsters swarm right at Chen, but he moves like a flash, using his body as a shield to block them. Suddenly, another monster launches a sneaky surprise attack from the shadows. Spotting the danger, Gongting instantly screams out, "Watch out!" The duo team up, slashing in perfect sync, but the monster horde just keeps swarming them even harder. Gongting panics at this rate. We are going to get completely overwhelmed. Suddenly, Chen raises his hand high, summoning a massive storm of crackling lightning. He unleashes a wild, high-tier skill, raining down countless piercing lightning arrows straight into the monster pack. With just one single attack, Chen wipes out half the horde. Without even pausing, he dashes forward like a flash of lightning to continue the slaughter. Blood and blinding electric light completely fill the cave. Watching this, Gongting's eyes go wide in absolute shock. How is this guy even doing this? An assassin class is supposed to have pretty low raw strength, making head-on fights almost impossible for them. And yet, every single strike he lands is perfectly aimed at their vital spots. His moves are unbelievably clean and precise. Gongting stands there frozen, realizing Chen is using pure speed and insane skill to make up for his low strength. Just watch how fast he moves. Watching him move, Gongting realizes his speed is easily at rank A level. Gripping his sword tight as his own battle aura flares up, he starts thinking, wait, we actually might have a real shot at winning this. Deep in the shadows, the boss's eyes glow red as it lets out a low, menacing growl. Suddenly snarling out a command, it uses an infinite power buff, pumping crazy energy into its minions. This sudden power spike catches Chen off guard, making him freeze for a split second. The boss frantically screams to his buffed minions, "Tear that kid to shreds right now." Right then, a bright aura wraps around Chen. He leaps high into the air, narrowly dodging a brutal strike from the buffed monster. He fires back with some heavy slashes of his own. Meanwhile, Gongting channels his own energy over to Chen, silently praying for him to hang in there. Feeling the extra power surging through him, Chen starts moving even faster than before, turning into a complete blur. As he zips past, the monster snaps at his heels, but he spins around instantly, landing a massive slash right across its chest. Blinding sparks from his blade light up the dark cave, making the monster roar in absolute fury as it gets pushed back. Chen keeps slamming down attacks, triggering a massive explosion that forces him to slide back, leaving a long trail on the floor. He quickly analyzes the situation. These buffed minions are basically sitting at near rank B stats now. Plus, their armor is insanely thick. I can't get a clean hit on their weak spots without breaking through their defense first. Suddenly, Gongting shouts out from behind, "Thanks, Chen." Startled, Chen looks back as Gongting smiles, saying he has bought plenty of time. Meanwhile, at 5:30 p.m. back at the apartment, Dong arrives with some bags, apologizing for being late because she grabbed drinks. Siyun smiles, "It is totally fine. My brother is not home yet." Dong looks surprised to hear he is still out. "Does he already know that you passed the entrance exam for the art academy?" The girl answers, "Not yet, but I did tell him that I have some pretty important news to share today. He might be coming home a bit late. Should we just eat something first?" Siyun picks up the food box and asks, "When did we run out of garlic sauce?" "You just wait at home. Leo and I will run out to buy a new bottle and grab some snacks on the way to celebrate properly." She agrees with a quick okay. Then the scene shifts to her buying groceries at the local supermarket. Siyun looks into her backpack and praises him, saying Leo is such a good boy. She notes that he stays quiet inside without making any fuss. She rubs her face against him, cooing that he is so good and she will buy him some dog treats this time. But right behind Siyun, a shady group is quietly tailing her. One of them speaks into his phone to confirm, saying, "Yeah, I have eyes on the target." He holds a photo of Siyun. "Do we make a move yet?" The voice on the other end orders him not to rush. Just follow her first and strike when there are no cameras. Wenwu agrees, saying, "Got it." Right at that exact moment, Si-yoon suddenly starts walking much faster. The thugs pick up their pace too. "See this?" She whispers to herself, realizing these guys have been tailing her since the store and wondering what they want. Their faces are loaded with pure malice and street thug aggression. Inside the bag, Leo starts growling aggressively. She realizes the pet senses the danger too, so she quickly zips up the backpack, telling him to stay hidden for now. She glances back. Cold gaze. It looks like they have to take a big risk. Meanwhile, Chen analyzes the situation. These buffed monsters are almost B-rank tier, plus their outer shells are way too tough for normal attacks. He can't easily strike their vital points, so he must find a way to shred their armor. Suddenly, Gongting yells out loud, thanking Chen. Shocked by those words, he hears him declare that he bought enough time. Gongting roars out that this is his ultimate killer move, promising that even an A-rank boss won't have a single scrap left after this. His raging flames instantly engulf the beasts as a massive ultrasonic shockwave tears through the entire chamber. The sheer force sweeps across the battlefield with violent, crushing power. Finally, a colossal explosion erupts, shaking the whole dimension. As the dust settles, Gongting falls to his knees. He props himself up with his sword, completely drained of energy and gasping heavily for air. His vision grows blurry, but looking at the absolute devastation in front of him, he mutters that it is finally over. But the Overlord's voice echoes out, mocking him. Is this truly your full power? That chilling tone instantly grabs both of their attention before the boss delivers a brutal final insult, calling humanity useless trash. Gongting is left in absolute disbelief after his ultimate strike failed. He is deeply shocked to see the monster completely unharmed, while Chen suddenly notices something strange. He realizes that right before the hit landed, the boss absorbed all the energy from the demon willow to create an incredibly powerful shield. Gongting looks down, muttering, "Is this where I die?" Suddenly, Chen speaks up, offering Gongting a deal where he gets first place in this trial, but the 1 million prize money goes to him. Clenching his weapon, he adds one condition: keep watching, guys. You must never tell anyone about what happens next. Gongting gasps in utter shock, realizing that he actually possesses dual classes. Right then, monster souls float up, their life force draining as they gather in one spot, which Chen absorbs completely to unleash his true hidden power. Blinding light erupts from his body, completely blocking all vision as Gongting looks on with raw, unhidden panic written all over his face. The Overlord freezes in its tracks, staring dead at him. Chen's lips part slowly, as if he is about to speak. He calmly declares that he already warned everyone he would handle this boss himself. The atmosphere turns terrifying as his voice echoes with a creepy, ominous chill. Next, a massive wave of dark magic floods the entire battlefield. Gongting clutches his ears in sheer agony from the boss's hypnosis attack, yet Chen stands there looking terrifyingly calm and completely unfazed. Seeing his unflinching posture, the boss panics, screaming out in utter confusion about why its hypnosis doesn't work on him as it starts losing its mind. It snarls that he must die, unleashing its devastating hellish soundwave attack in a fit of rage. Yet Chen casually walks straight into the shockwave, while down below, Gongting struggles with every ounce of his remaining strength just to survive. Pure energy bursts from the boss. Gritting his teeth through the smoke, Chen's eyes suddenly flare with a bright, intense light. With explosive power, he charges straight ahead. The boss is completely stunned by his relentless speed, instantly halting its attack. It screams in pure panic. "How is this possible? Why can't I even scratch you?" The boss then unleashes its giant snake summon to lunge directly at him, but Chen's presence only grows even more overwhelming by the second. Slamming his blade down, he sends the beast flying hundreds of meters, crashing heavily to the ground as blood sprays everywhere. At that exact moment, 2 more beasts charge straight at him. Chen calmly takes his stance once again, fully prepared to strike them down. In the blink of an eye, he finishes them both with one clean slash. The boss stands there completely dumbfounded before entirely losing its mind. Unbeatable? You think your defense is actually invincible? Chen leaps straight up, gripping his sword tight, and mocks him. Oh, really? Maxing out his ultimate soul burst form, he unleashes crazy power. One brutal slash completely shatters the boss's shield into flying pieces. The boss panics, sweat dripping down his face. Gongting watches this in absolute disbelief. What on earth? One single strike completely obliterated the Lord's barrier. Seriously, who or what is this guy, Chen? Without pausing, he activates his stellar warrior move Triple Calamity Overload. The boss is slammed straight into the dirt, triggering a massive, earth-shaking explosion. Thick smoke spreads everywhere, blinding everyone. Down in the crater, the defeated boss growls, refusing to accept his defeat. "No way, I don't believe this," he groans. Chen steps up, cold as ice billet. "What's your link to Wrath?" The boss gasps, eyes wide with pure shock. "How do you know the Wrath King?" Chen just glares, commanding him to talk. Trembling, the boss stammers out, "If I know him, of course I'd try to help unseal my lord." Wait, Wrath was actually sealed? Chen is stunned, but the boss suddenly bursts into a maniacal laugh as his body starts fading away. "Just you wait. The Wrath King will absolutely return to claim this world. He will lead his demon army to slaughter every single one of you useless humans. With a final curse, the boss disintegrates, leaving only a glowing spark. A small, radiant flame floats gently in the air before drifting right into Chen's hand, being completely absorbed. The system chimes in Illusionist Soul Devour complete. Instantly, a golden light wraps around him as he levels up to 25. He falls deep into thought. Turns out Wrath didn't show up after 3 years he was already here on Earth. But why was he sealed? What the hell happened in this world that he completely missed? Just then, Chen spots Gong Ting, clutching his bloody chest. Gong Ting sighs, "Who knew you were a dual-class user? I admit it, you are way stronger than me. This match is yours, and don't worry, your secrets are completely safe with me." Coughing violently, Gong Ting suddenly spits up a big splash of blood and collapses against the wall in pain. Chen walks over to help, pointing out that since the boss is dead, the dungeon gate should be open now. "Hang in there, the guild squad is coming." But suddenly, a strange, overwhelming energy surges and locks directly into Chen's eyes. Right in front of him, a blurry silhouette of a person starts taking shape. He freezes in shock. It's his sister, Si-yoon. The figure looming near her radiates pure evil, while she huddles in fear, holding Leo tight. Now check this out. On June 24th at 5:50 p.m., little Si-yoon is walking down the street. She's super annoyed. These sketchy guys have been tailing her ever since she left the supermarket. What do they even want? Creepy eyes watch her every step from the shadows. Inside her coat, little Leo senses the danger and lets out a low growl. "Do you feel it too, buddy?" she whispers, gently patting his head down to keep him hidden from sight. "Stay down, we are in for a little adventure." She reminds herself of the golden rule: if creeps follow you, always head straight for a crowd. Lucky for her, at this hour, the nearby restaurant district is absolutely packed with busy people. She quickly slips into the crowd to hide, but the angry stalker behind her ruthlessly shoves bystanders aside to keep up. Thinking fast, she waits for the perfect moment when they look away, then vanishes into a side alley. Chen Yu looks around in total shock. Where did she go? Meanwhile, Si-yoon runs as fast as she can. Looking back, she sighs in relief, thinking she lost them, but then turns around only to find someone blocking her path. Wenwu sneers, saying he has been waiting ages for her. Terrified, she screams out, asking who they really are. "How do you know where I live?" Just then, Chen Yu catches up, mocking her for being a fast runner. She panics and bolts again, but suddenly, a blast of ice magic freezes her feet solid, sending her crashing hard onto the pavement. He smirks, asking if she is tired from running, and coldly suggests she take a nice long nap. Creepily reaching his hand out, he tells her to play with him. Terrified, she scoots backward and lets out a loud scream. Right then, Leo's massive paw slams directly into his face, sending the creep flying back like a broken doll. Wenwu glares with pure rage. Right next to him, Leo's giant foot stomps heavily onto the hard concrete. The massive beast stands guard, ready to protect her. Honestly, even little Si-yoon is left completely stunned by this sight. Staring at his massive new form, she gasps out his name. Chen Yu struggles up, yelling, "Where did this giant lion come from?" "The kid who hired us never mentioned we would have to fight a monster." Leo lets out a terrifying roar. But Sha Yu suddenly unleashes a massive bolt of lightning, blasting Leo straight back to his tiny form. He crashes down, completely knocked out. Horror-stricken, Si-yoon rushes over, scooping him into her arms and desperately begging him to wake up. Wenwu scoffs, thinking he was facing some tanky B-tier magic beast. But right then, massive vines crawl up from beneath the dirt. He slowly steps closer, but cannot even hold out for 10 seconds. Those vines are wrapping around Si-yoon as she desperately screams for them to stay back. Wenwu just gets annoyed, telling her not to waste his time. Sweat drenches her terrified face as the creep demands she strip it off herself or let him help her. Her eyes go wide with pure dread, but look at that gorgeous purple light suddenly flooding the scene. Chen appears out of nowhere, completely blasting Wenwu back. The lackeys freeze in shock as their boss slams hard into the wall, kickstarting a cloud of dust. He turns to his sister, apologizing for being late and asking if she and Leo are okay. Sha Yu snarls, demanding to know where this punk crawled out from, while Si-yoon quickly warns him. "Brother, I have no idea how they found us, but they are all awakened ones, so what do we do now?" Chen just smiles reassuringly, telling her not to worry because he is right here. Meanwhile, Wenwu grips the wall, releasing a heavy wave of pure killing intent. That was just a fluke. "You punk, you have officially pushed me too far now." He vows to take their heads back to his boss for triple the cash, but Chen just steps forward, telling his sister to stay back while he handles this mess. The scene shifts to a memory, showing someone pinning another kid down. Tian barks out, demanding if he is still refusing to cooperate. Calling him a parasite, the bullies order each other to beat him to a pulp. Just then, a tiny Siyun shows up, shakily holding a wooden stick and screaming at them to stop and let her big brother go. The bully turns around, mocking the little parasite for trying to play hero, while young Chen desperately screams for them to stay away from her. He reminds him of his promise to never touch Siyun, but Tian just shrugs it off, proudly admitting he lied. Today, he is going to teach his arrogant cousin a lesson since she chose to stick her nose in and beg for a beating. Hearing that, he completely snaps and grabs a loose brick, throwing it straight at the guy, pinning him to the dirt. The bully is startled by the sudden noise and spins around, only to see an enraged Chen charging right at him with a brick. He decisively hurls it straight at the bully's face, having completely lost his cool at this point. Tian is too terrified to even speak, but Chen does not hesitate, slamming the brick right into his head for breaking his word. Tian gets sent flying, groaning in agonizing pain as he screams that the kid has completely lost his mind. His small, slender frame stands tall as he tells her not to be scared. Back in reality, Chen repeats the exact same promise. Clenching his fists, he promises to end this fast as the entire gang rushes him at once, leaving Siyun absolutely terrified. She knows he is facing 3 powerful awakened ones who look ready to kill. How on earth can her brother fight them off? Yu charges forward with a lightning-infused fist, mockingly asking the kid what he thinks he is trying to pull. But Chen effortlessly swats Yu away like a fly, leaving Siyun completely speechless at the sight. Next up, Yu rushes forward with heavy steps and leaps high into the air. He aims a deadly dropkick straight at Chen, who casually catches his leg with one hand before delivering a devastating counterstrike. The battlefield completely descends into chaotic madness. Giant, wild vines suddenly erupt from the ground, but Chen relies on his insane reflexes to easily dodge them all without taking a single scratch. Those sharp vines stab straight through the concrete wall behind him. The leader screams that he is just a pathetic high schooler, with Wenwu declaring he will turn the kid into Swiss cheese. Chen's eyes narrow with an icy, lethal glare. He effortlessly slips past the incoming vines and blitzes forward with insane speed. As Chen winds up a heavy fist, the boss panics, completely unable to track what kind of insane footwork this is. It finally clicks for her. How could she possibly forget that her big brother actually took the #1 spot? He literally won the champion title in the Awakened college entrance exams, which means her brother is a ridiculously overpowered monster. By now, Chen has completely blasted Wenwu away, and things finally calm down as he looks down at the battered thug. Chen Yu is out cold on the floor, while Yu is left bruised and bloody. Chen softly tells Siyun to take Leo home first while he drags these garbage thugs over to the security guards. She obediently nods and heads home. Later that night, the scene shifts to a dim room as light flickers over Wenwu's face. The thug slowly regains consciousness after getting absolutely wrecked. All 3 of them are tied tightly against a wall as Wenwu panics, demanding to know where they are, but Chen coldly asks if they belong to the Black Mountain Guild. Since that guild never takes a job without getting paid first, he demands to know who hired them. Wenwu just bursts out laughing, sneering that if he breaks the client confidentiality code, his reputation in the underworld is totally dead. In response, Chen releases a suffocating wave of killing intent, his eyes flashing with a cold glare that says they are doing this the hard way. Chen steps up as the system flashes his stats on screen. He has got this pretty dark, deadly look in his eyes right now. Any Black Mountain Guild goons here? I know you guys only move for cold cash. So who is your sponsor? Even though this guy is beaten to a bloody pulp by Chen, he still keeps his mouth shut tight. He sneers that since he took the money, snitching would ruin his reputation. Hey Pai claims he could never survive in the underworld again. Hearing that trash talk, Chen just closes his eyes. Suddenly, a dark, sinister aura starts swirling all around him. His class transfer completes right as his eyes snap wide. Trust me, since this clown won't talk, things are about to get brutal. System transfer complete. Level 25 Chen is now a soul illusionist and flower mage. His main stats are all at 4 stars. With 3-star elemental power and 5-star mental strength, he unlocks Whispering Soul. This skill unleashes a telepathic attack that can easily hypnotize and control any weak target. Then there is Underworld Wave, blasting massive mental shockwaves for big area damage, and Spirit Barrier, which steals magic to make a shield. Suddenly, Heipai has this strange pink glow flashing in his eyes. The guy is completely frozen in place, utterly helpless. He gets wrapped tight like a sausage. A massive spiked tree suddenly erupts from the ground, slamming into his tied-up body. His crew is losing their minds, shouting for Hey Pai, and honestly, you can't blame them for panicking here. Chen glares at Hey Pai and activates his first spell, the Whispering Soul Strike. Those sharp thorns shoot forward, stabbing straight through Hey Pai's foot. Chen looks down with a pretty wicked grin, targeting his hand next. Right on cue, another massive spike rips straight through the palm of Hey Pai's hand. The thorns creep toward the other guy. This is the price. Siyun looks on from behind, totally confused by his insane power. This is what you get for threatening my sister, Siyun. The bloody spike keeps stretching toward the guy in the beanie. The beanie guy starts shaking in pure terror, yelling out, "What do you even want from us, kid?" With his eyes glowing blood red, Chen points those deadly thorns straight at him, saying it is his turn now. The beanie guy completely breaks down, crying like a baby and screaming for his life. He begs him to stop, promising to talk, confessing it is the son of the director of Hospital Number 1. Chen's face grows even darker. The trembling thug squeals that the kid's name is Kim. Finally, the true culprit is revealed: Jin Duoxin. June 24th, 5 p.m. at the Zifeng rooftop pool. Jin Duoxin is living it up, drinking with his nightclub girls. Another rich kid holding a girl and a bottle of booze walks right over to Jin Duoxin's side. He starts teasing him about getting rejected twice by some random schoolgirl, but Jin Duoxin just keeps drinking. The guy keeps mocking him, asking how our campus playboy failed to trick a simple student, laughing that his flirting skills definitely need a lot of work. Meanwhile, the rest of the crowd is still partying hard in the pool down below. Jin Duoxin glares at his friend in rage. That girl made him look like a complete joke twice, and tonight, she is going to pay. With that, Jin Duoxin stands up to leave, while a girl dressed in a cat cosplay asks where he is going. He snaps back, telling her he is just going to take a piss and not to annoy him. So Jin Duoxin heads inside the men's restroom to handle his business. Right as he is chilling and doing his thing, he hears a soft noise. He immediately turns around, feeling pretty annoyed, trying to figure out where that weird sound actually came from. He curses that even the light bulbs are messing with him. But right then, his face completely freezes in shock. Now look at that. Chen is standing right behind him, glaring down with cold fury, asking if he is Jin Duoxin. Down in the security room, 2 guards are just chilling, talking about their easy shift. The guard with the glasses mentions that those rich kids booked the entire top floor of the Zifeng Tower again. His partner replies that it explains why all the cameras up there were shut down. They keep gossiping in the quiet room. He chuckles, wondering if those rich punks are having a wild time, laughing about how the wealthy get to play by different rules. The guard with glasses suddenly looks around the room. Then he leans in close, whispering to his buddy that he heard a rumor about those rich kids kidnapping girls and bringing them up there. The other guard looks totally shocked, asking if that rumor is actually true. The first guard nods, confirming the dark secret once again. Apparently, a schoolgirl took her own life after getting assaulted by them right here, but their wealthy parents quickly covered up the entire tragedy. The other guard is stunned, asking if that really happened. The guard with glasses keeps sharing more dark gossip with his coworker. "Bro, let me tell you, what these rich punks did is straight up endless, so don't let their clean looks fool you," the guard whispers. Deep down, they are nothing but literal beasts. In the bathroom, the moment Jin Duoxin spots Chen, he panics, zips up his pants, looking completely shook. "Who are you?" Jin Duoxin stutters. But Chen just stands there, frozen. Backing away in sheer panic, Jin Duoxin realizes nobody else should be up here on the top floor. "How did you even get up here?" he screams. "I am calling the cops on you right now." He instantly grabs his phone to call for backup. The ringtone suddenly starts blaring. Jin Duoxin stares at the screen, totally freaked out, as the phone just keeps on ringing. The guy he is calling is none other than Hey Pai from the Black Mountain Guild. But Chen is already holding that buzzing phone. "So you are the trash who sent people to mess with Siyun." The room goes dead silent. Jin Duoxin completely freezes, shook to his core. "Why on earth is Hey Pai's phone in your hand?" he stutters. "Where is Hey Pai and what did you do to him?" Chen does not say a word. He just glares at Jin Duoxin, then slowly crushes the phone into pieces. You can feel the terror here. Jin Duoxin is completely shook. "Stay the hell away from me. Who even are you?" he screams at the top of his lungs. No answer, just a brutal punch. Chen breaks his nose, sending him flying backward. Jin Duoxin rolls across the tiled floor, smashing into glass railings that shatter everywhere. He groans in absolute agony. Desperately trying to stay conscious, he starts screaming for help. "Someone help me, please." He is sobbing uncontrollably, tears streaming down his face. He crawls over to the pool, shouting for his men to get up, but none of them are even breathing anymore. Chen looms behind him like a literal monster, and Jin Duoxin is completely paralyzed with pure fear, blood everywhere. Jin Duoxin looks at Chen, absolutely losing his mind. But Chen's expression remains completely stone cold. The rich punk screams out in desperation, "You crazy bastard, who the hell are you anyway? We don't even have beef. Why are you doing this to me?" Without a word, Chen slowly steps closer, making him panic even harder. "I told you to back off, did you hear me? Do you even know who my dad is? He is the director of Hospital Number 1. Sobbing and shaking, he tries to threaten him. "If you touch me, my dad will straight up murder you. You are dead." At those words, Chen's eyes flash with a dangerous light. "Shut your mouth," he commands. Suddenly, Jin Duoxin's eyes turn red as the hypnosis takes over. Jin Duoxin's body suddenly goes completely limp as Chen slowly steps forward. Looking down like a god, Chen commands him to pick it up. Instantly, Jin Duoxin reaches his hand toward the shattered glass on the floor. As he grabs a sharp shard, it is clear that pure evil does not just breed in dungeons, it lives right here among humans. Flashback to Jin Duoxin abusing a defenseless girl, using his family's money to get away with the crime. The poor girl ended her own life right there. His low-life lackeys panicked. "Boss, holy crap, that schoolgirl just took her own life." But Jin Duoxin just casually takes a sip of his drink, lets out a burp, and says, "What are you panicking for?" He used his family's influence to dodge the law, acting more vile than literal demons to do whatever he wanted in this world. Slurring his words, he tells them to just say she tripped and fell. Whatever goes on that autopsy report is up to my family anyway. Meanwhile, a man in a hat screams out a name. Jin Duoxin. He paid us a fortune and told us to do whatever it takes to make Siyun suffer forever. But this time, he messed with the wrong guy. Back in the present, Jin Duoxin raises the sharp glass shard high. Chen declares he will completely wipe out any threat to Siyun. Look closely. Jin Duoxin's whole body is trembling as he raises the glass. "Even if I have to drag myself through the darkest shadows, I will do whatever it takes." Chen looks down and coldly commands, "Do it." On June 24th, Year 7, at 18 hours. Deep inside the dungeon, the extra test ends and the boss is finally dead. The dungeon exit should be open by now. Just hang in there a little longer. The guild's rescue team will be here soon. Meanwhile, Gong Ting sits on the ground, clutching his injured arm. Looking down, he coughs, telling Chen that once they get out, he will make sure everyone knows he saved them all. But Chen immediately casts his hypnosis on Gong Ting instead. Suddenly, an unknown man flashes inside Gong Ting's fading consciousness. That mysterious man seems to have sensed Chen. In that exact moment, Chen realizes he has been spotted by someone powerful. Oh crap. Chen realizes Siyun is in danger. The system triggers his summoning. This skill consumes his mental energy to instantly teleport him to his contracted beast, or summon it straight to his side. And just like that, Chen vanishes right before Gong Ting's eyes. Gong Ting is totally losing it over Chen's sudden disappearance. How is dual classing even possible? Is that even legal in this world? Right then, a wild bolt of lightning crackles over Chen's head. Out of nowhere, a pair of sharp horns start sprouting from his skull. Chen's eyes flare blood red. You honestly can't blame Gong Ting for laughing bitterly, wondering how many insane secrets this guy is still keeping. A ton of heavy footsteps suddenly come rushing in. They found them, right ahead. Gong Xuan rushes in with a medical team, completely panicking. "Get over there and save them," she yells across the crater to Gong Ting. "Over here, we are over here." The medics quickly unpack their first aid kits and scramble to patch up Gong Ting's wounds. "Stop the bleeding, grab bandages now." Gong Xuan quickly runs over to where Gong Ting is sitting. Gong Xuan kneels right in front of Gong Ting, asking how he is holding up. That dungeon boss was an absolute beast at B rank. Surviving this is a total miracle for you guys. Meanwhile, the rest of Gong Xuan's medical crew fan out across the area to find and treat the other survivors. One of them checks on the girl. She's the exam proctor, and she's finally stable now. A medic tends to the curly-haired guy. Everyone has finally snapped out of that weird illusion state. He is groaning in pain, muttering about why his life is one giant nightmare. Gong Xuan glances back, asking one of the medics, "Oh wait, speaking of which, where is that kid Chen?" The medic replies that they can't find any other casualties. Gong Xuan frowns, wondering if that kid got scared and ran away somewhere. "Go search again." Gong Xuan looks at Gong Ting, sounding pretty angry. This is totally the school's fault for not screening the dungeon properly, getting you thrashed like this. Hearing this, Gong Ting just looks down. Gong Xuan fumes, promising to get those administrators fired the second they get out of here. Just then, Gong Lin strolls over, hands shoved in his pockets. He smirks, saying this is actually the most perfect outcome possible. Behind him stands a mysterious white-haired guy. Gong Lin steps right up to Gong Ting, muttering that an unexpected accident occurred during the examination. Even the examiner got completely wrecked by the monsters. Seeing Gong Lin get close, Gong Ting quickly stands up. Gong Lin spreads his arms wide, saying that in a moment of absolute despair, his own son stepping up to save the day makes for a way more perfect narrative. Gong Ting stays silent for a long moment before finally giving his father an answer. And here is where it gets incredibly tense. Gong Ting tries to speak the truth, but his dad digs his fingers right into his fresh wound to shut him up. Gong Lin leans in, bringing his face dangerously close to Gong Ting. "You are the one who solved this," he growls, squeezing the boy's wound until fresh blood leaks out. Gong Xuan can only stand there, completely silent. Gong Lin continues his dark lecture, saying the massive crisis they face today. He emphasizes every single word, claiming everyone at the scene saw it with their own eyes. Even the guy behind Gong Lin just stays quiet, not daring to argue. Gong Lin squeezes even harder, letting blood soak right through the bandages. Gong Ting winces, his face twisted in pure, agonizing pain. But his father just calmly repeats that he was the one who did it. Finally, he lets go, wiping his bloody hands with a cloth as he turns to leave. Today's graduation ceremony is going to be your real stage, kid. Left alone, Gong Ting clutches his bleeding shoulder, utterly defeated. Meanwhile, at 8 p.m. in a small apartment, the gang is raising their soda bottles to celebrate. Chen, his sister Yun, and her friend are all crowded around a table, happily sharing some hot pot. Yun's friend cheers, raising a toast to her for passing the entrance exam to the International Central Academy of Fine Arts. Yun just beams as her friend pats her shoulder. "You can finally chase your biggest dreams," her friend says. "You're totally going to be a world-class artist someday." Yun is absolutely glowing with happiness. Meanwhile, Chen just quietly sips his Coke, keeping his mouth shut. Seeing her brother just focus on stuffing his face, Yun rests her chin in her hands, asking why he isn't even a little bit surprised. Chen just lets out a dumb grunt, making Yun sigh that it's like he already knew she would get in. Chen just smiles softly, saying he really is happy for her. But secretly, he remembers his past life. She got her acceptance letter on this exact day back then, too. Yun's friend rests her chin on her hands and lets out a dramatic sigh. For real, huge congrats, Yun. Studying over in Shenge Kingdom is a massive, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that most normal folks would kill to get. Yun sighs, suddenly looking a bit down, saying that Shenge Kingdom is super far away and the living costs are going to be insanely expensive. Chen sets his drink down on the table, telling her not to sweat the distance or the tuition fees at all. His words take Yun completely by surprise. Seeing her shocked face, Chen just smiles, dropping another bomb that he plans to head over to Shenge Kingdom for work after graduation. Yun is totally stunned, then suddenly stands up, bursting with pure excitement. She lunges closer to Chen, demanding to know if he actually got recruited by one of those elite Shenge guilds. Chen just chuckles silently. Her friend is just as mind-blown, pointing out those are massive S-tier mega guilds, asking how on earth he pulled that off. Yun grabs Chen's hand, smiling big and cheering that they can finally live together in Shenge Kingdom. Her friend is totally hyped too, whining about how jealous she is and swearing she will get into a school there. Chen looks at his little sister and smiles, seeing her glowing face and thinking that this time, she won't ever have to throw away her dreams again. Later, Chen heads into the bathroom and turns on the shower. Under the water, his face turns dead serious that threat to his sister is gone, and the graduation exam is officially wrapped up. He remembers how it went down. First place is his, which means 1 million in prize money is heading straight to his pockets. The system pops up, showing his class change. Tomorrow, he can grab that 1 million payout from Gong Ting and pay off his debt to Qing Ji. Right after his shower, he sits on his bed, plotting his next moves. Since Wrath got sealed away in the human world, Chen recalls the cryptic words that guy told him earlier. Why would he help break the seal if he knew what was coming? Honestly, that 3-year timeline he estimated is way too risky now. Now, check this out. He needs to get to Shenge Kingdom fast and speed up his search for Wrath. His eyes turn cold, knowing that before he makes any big moves, he needs to recruit some totally reliable teammates. Tomorrow's graduation is the perfect shot. Meanwhile, Ling Yuji sits across from Cavendish, reporting that the glutton was recently spotted in Shangshang County. Cavendish sips his tea and tells Ling Yuji to give him all the details. Ling Yuji looks down, explaining how she immediately rushed over to the crime scene the second she got the tip. She breaks down what she knows, noting that all security cameras there were totally trashed beforehand. Only a few scuff marks and blood splatters remain typical for his style. First kill, then eat. Cavendish listens as she says he targets strong awakened ones. Even worse, the rank of these victims has been steadily going up and up lately. Ling Yuji's expression darkens. It is proof that this psycho is leveling up insanely fast. Cavendish pours more tea, while she warns that once the glutton starts, he won't stop, and he'll likely strike again super soon. Could he show up right now? Hearing all this, Cavendish just lets out a quiet smirk. Pretty interesting, he says, as Ling Yuji slides a photo across the table, promising even juicier intel that makes Cavendish raise an eyebrow. Oh, the photo has circled markings all over it. Ling Yuji explains that this time, the glutton struck inside a back alley of a cheap rental neighborhood. And here is the kicker: the alley marked with an X and a star is literally 68 meters from Chen's place. Hearing this, Cavendish just stays completely silent. Seeing his super calm reaction, Ling Yuji's tone gets dead serious, pointing out they still haven't found a single audio or video clip of this glutton. Plus, Chen's recent combat power is way higher than expected, which both she and her brother saw with their own eyes. Ling Yuji's voice gets heavy as she drops her final thoughts. She has two theories: either the glutton is targeting Chen, or she pauses, or Chen himself is the glutton. Cavendish looks up at Ling Yuji. As a confused subordinate asks a question, "Are you seriously not going to graduation?" Headmaster Yuan Long smiles thoughtfully, opening a bird cage and saying he only provided shelter for them when they were weak. Now they need to find their own paths. Suddenly, Yuan Long looks down with a surprised gasp. He stares at a single bird left inside, wondering if it's lost. Back at the hall, seats are filling up. Ma Long grabs the seat in front, amazed the school is using such a massive hall. Xiang Zuo sits up front, hearing that tons of big-shot guild leaders are showing up today. Xiang Yu asks how the extra exam went for Chen and Gong Ting. No leaks at all. The school's security is airtight. He whispers they'll find out soon. Ma Long hypes everyone up, shouting that his bro Chen definitely won. Hearing that, Gong Cheng's squad interrupts, telling him to shut up about Chen. He's got zero chance against their boss, swearing the title belongs to Gong Ting. Meanwhile, Gong Lin figures that all the major guilds are sending reps. In fact, the entire board of the Empire Guild will attend. There is Yuan Guang, the legendary founder of the Empire Guild Association, while Ming Jing, the Empire Guild founder, gets instantly scouted. The VIPs are ushered to the front row, while Gong Lin glares through his sharp glasses and mutters that the election for the guild's new leadership is coming up fast. A total tie. His dad and Ming Jing are completely locked. Today's ceremony is the ultimate shot to sway those fence-sitters on the board, because that chairman's seat absolutely has to go to his old man. Once the show starts, the vice president will personally hand you that championship trophy, making sure the entire world remembers this exact day. Your launch pad. This is your ticket straight to the very top. And this will be the absolute peak of glory for our Gong family. So once you step up on that stage, make sure to speak politely, avoid any stupid mistakes, and show everyone your maximum value. He stays silent. Gong Ting just stares down, lost in thought. His hand squeezes the papers tight, and soon, the graduation ceremony for the National Awakened University kicks off as the female host takes the stage. Welcome to all our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. After surviving endless trials, hardcore struggles, and non-stop battles, this year's brutal graduation exam for the Awakened University has finally come to a successful end. I am deeply honored. The graduation ceremony for the National Awakened University class of 2015 officially begins. Loud applause fills the room, but Gong Ting just stands there with his trademark cold face, while over in the shadows, Chen quietly watches the whole thing. He crosses his arms and glances over, spotting a girl up on the stands who keeps her hand aimed at the trophy, doing her own thing. The big moment. Here is the glorious, highly anticipated coronation we have all been waiting to see. The ultimate champion. Today we officially drop the final graduation exam scores. Next up, put your hands together and give a massive welcome to the Vice President of the World Guild Association, Mr. Cavendish. Our Vice President will personally announce the winner of this year's brutal graduation exam and crown the absolute champion of the class. Cavendish steps up to the mic and thanks the Empire Guild for having him as their honored guest today. He is hyped to be here and witness the absolute beast-level performances of Dongtan's newest generation of elite talent. He drops a total bomb, mentioning that a massive, unexpected crisis actually went down during the final practical exam, which instantly makes Ma Long and his whole crew lean in with curiosity. Looking serious, he reveals that the dungeon they cleared was originally evaluated as a low-level rank D dungeon, but it was actually a highly lethal, disguised rank B threat. The entire crowd gasps in sheer shock. A rank B dungeon? No way. Did they hear him right? Even a fully mobilized guild would struggle with a rank B threat, so how on earth did a bunch of students survive that nightmare? Cavendish slowly pulls out the results card. But just as despair was setting in, one incredible candidate stepped up with insane agility and godly skills, pulling off an absolute miracle to crush a high-tier boss monster. This absolute beast soloed the rank B dungeon lord all by himself, saving the lives of his entire team in the process. He is officially named the strongest graduate and the ultimate champion of this entire class, though Gong Ting down in the crowd looks like he could care less. His name gets called. Confetti instantly blasts all over the entire stage. Gong Ting stands up and heads to the stage as the crowd erupts into wild cheers. Ma Long is totally stunned that Chen actually lost, while others grumble that this must be rigged. Meanwhile, the Gong family goons are celebrating like crazy. He is the champion. The crowd is losing it over how he soloed a rank B dungeon. This level of power is just pure cheat codes, making some guy in the crowd grab his head and complain that life is totally unfair. No kidding, even a basic rank E dungeon is enough to beat us to a pulp. Fans scream that he is the absolute GOAT, praising how ridiculously cool and incredibly strong Gong Ting is. As Gong Ting slowly walks up the stairs, Chen sits below with a gloomy face, remembering how he pulled the guy aside and proposed a sneaky little deal. He offered him the first-place trophy while he walked away with the $1 million cash prize. But there was one huge catch. Gong Ting could never tell a single soul what actually happened inside. Back in the present, Chen frowns as the spotlight hits Gong Ting. Next up, we invite our champion Gong Ting to give his victory speech. People in the crowd whisper about how handsome and elegant he looks, calling him a true young hero. Hearing all the endless praise, Gong Lin cannot help but smirk. People agree that the Gong family heir totally lives up to the hype, with a highly promising future ahead, while Gong Ting just stands before the microphone, silent. His dad's strict warning echoes in his mind, reminding him to stay sharp up there. His dad told him to speak carefully, avoid any stupid mistakes, and show everyone what his absolute maximum value looks like. Gong Ting frowns, wondering if this fake glory is really his ultimate worth, before reading his speech, saying the vice president is right about him soloing the boss and saving his team. But I am not the guy who pulled off all those crazy stunts, Na Gong Ting claimed. It was actually Chen. Hearing his own name blasted through the speakers, the kid freezes. Even Cavendish blinks, utterly blindsided by the reveal. Down below, Gong Lin loses his absolute mind. What the hell are you saying, Gong Ting? The whole crowd of Gong Cheng lackeys gets instant psychological trauma. What is President Gong Ting doing? Has he completely lost it? Gong Ting just hangs his head, starting to explain. Everything went sideways in that dungeon, he says. Examiner Dai was knocked out cold, leaving only me and Chen. The kid covers his mouth, cold sweat dripping down. Frowning, he spills every single detail. He is honestly the most terrifying lightning-type assassin class user I have ever crossed paths with. With insane skills and experience, he basically shredded those monsters like paper. He showed me with raw force what true power actually looks like. It was my very first time realizing such a ridiculously overpowered awakened hunter could even exist. Chen solved the whole crisis. So yeah, the actual champion of this graduation exam is him. Our guy stands there stunned. He actually kept my secret, he thinks. Meanwhile, the crowd starts whispering. What kind of drama is this? Wait, did not they say the Empire Group checked these results themselves? Is there some massive screw-up with the official rankings? Cavendish smirks. Well, this is getting absolutely wild, guys. Ma Long shouts, totally pumped. Told you this exam was rigged. Xiang Zuo immediately chimes in, demanding a massive investigation. Sitting down there, Ming Jing suddenly glances sideways. At the exact same time, Yuan Guang turns to Gong Lin. Vice President, what the hell is going on here? Do you care to explain this whole mess? He is so pissed that veins pop on his hands, gripping his chair. Gong Lin slams his chair back, storming off in absolute rage. Up on stage, Gong Ting keeps his head down as his old man storms past. He tears his paper right in half, wondering how to live a life with real value. Every single choice he makes about his own future has to be decided by Gong Ting, and Gong Ting alone. Right at that moment, the bird finally escapes its cage. Yuan Long looks up, watching it fly away, muttering that the kid finally knows exactly which way he needs to go. Meanwhile, Gong Ting locks eyes and states, "Si Chen, you won this round." Our boy just smirks, taking it in. But next time, the guy promises, his voice pure grit, "I am absolutely passing you up. Look, there are literally tens of thousands of guilds worldwide, all different sizes. Ranked by their actual raw power, they are split into 5 distinct tiers, from highest to lowest peak: high tier, gold, silver, and just regular everyday guilds. Out of all of them, the high tier guilds are the absolute limit most hunters can ever dream of. There are only 12 of these elite guilds in the entire world, and the Empire Guild is one of them. Cutting over to an office, some desperate applicant is literally begging. "Please check my resume again. Just take one more look. I can do anything at all. Even sweeping floors is totally fine." But the recruiter just waves him off. "Our Divine Eye Guild is not taking any support classes this year, so go try somewhere else. For your average graduate, scoring an official offer from any decent guild is basically like winning the lottery." Everyone is sighing. "Did you get an offer yet?" "Nope, nothing yet." This year's job market is brutally competitive, but if you're lucky enough to slip into a high-tier guild, you are set. Charleston, the HR boss of the Empire Guild, waves a red card forward. "Your info is officially registered. Here is your official employment certificate. Since you are on the winning team, you can join the Empire Guild directly, Mr. Ma Long." Ma Long holds it, bawling his eyes out. This single sheet of paper represents his entire life dream coming true. He screams out, "Empire Guild, here I come. Monster Research Department, get ready." Xiang Zuo hypes himself up too. "Mine is the combat division," while Xiang Yu cheers along. "I got the research department too." The 3 of them celebrate, shoulders locked. They actually made it into a top-tier guild. Total success. Meanwhile, 2 other guys are weeping. If only we had teamed up with Si Chen from the start. They are literally dying of regret. Gong Chung just stands there, scowling with crossed arms. Just thinking about having to work with these absolute clowns in the future makes my blood boil. Meanwhile, over by the elevator, Ming Jing asks his staff if recruitment is going smoothly. His assistant reports that 2 separate teams scored perfect marks this year. Loads of rookies are signing up, and they are currently processing their profiles. Right then, the elevator doors slide open in front of him. Cavendish and Ming Jing freeze, totally surprised to run into each other. The old man acts casual. Quite a coincidence. Is the chairman attending the recruitment fair too? Stepping out, he replies that he only came to say goodbye to someone. Ming Jing throws a sharp, judging look his way. "So, the chairman thinks highly of this kid too, huh?" Cavendish nods. "A monster genius like him is a massive steal for your Empire Guild." Meanwhile, Charleston adjusts his glasses, frowning. "Why are we still short one person? Hey, why is Si Chen the only one from your squad who has not signed up yet? He is the last one, so quit wasting my valuable time." Ma Long immediately spins around, calling out for him. Xiang Zuo scans the crowd. "Wait, seriously, where did Si Chen run off to?" Someone spots him, dashes over, asking why he still has not turned in his registration yet. Xiang Zuo chimes in, asking how he can even think about taking a leak now when the Empire Guild is literally rushing him. Seeing this, the manager pops open his hot tea and sneers, complaining that kids today are so arrogant, acting like big superstars before achieving anything. Even at number 1, you still follow the rules. We are the top-ranked Empire Guild, so get over here right now and fill out this registration form. Suddenly, Si Chen announces he has no plans to join the Empire Guild, making the manager spit out his tea as his friends lose their minds. "Get a grip, man. Stop talking crazy." Gong Cheng's crew is panicking, asking what that guy just said. Rejecting the Empire Guild? The office erupts in whispers, asking what the hell that kid is doing. Si Chen repeats that he is not joining the Empire Guild, leaving Ming Jing completely dumbfounded. "What?" Meanwhile, Charleston slams the table in fury. "Kid, this is not a place for you to talk trash. A high-level management position was specifically reserved for you by the top brass. People would literally kill for this, and still fail. It is something most Empire Guild members will never reach in their entire lives." Si Chen lowers his head and mutters that he never wanted to join them anyway. This drives him totally insane, demanding to know what he is here for, while Cavendish suddenly bursts out laughing. "Look closely," he says. "This is the exact opportunity he has been waiting for," leaving everyone completely confused. Why is the chairman even here? The students quickly bow and greet him as he steps right up to Si Chen. Since you do not want to join the Empire Guild, how about coming with me to the Holy River Empire? I can recommend you to the local Radiant Knights. They are shook. Completely shook. Mingjing just stares in absolute disbelief. The entire office goes wild. The Radiant Knights is the absolute peak-level guild globally, a legendary name they have only ever heard on the international news. There are only 6 peak-level guilds in the entire world, and rumor has it they can wipe out a whole nation in a heartbeat. Plus, they never recruit publicly, relying strictly on highly exclusive internal recommendations to join their ranks. Yet Chen just shoves his hands into his pockets and rejects it, stating he does not plan on joining any guild whatsoever. He is only here to recruit teammates, showing a black card that leaves Cavendish and Ma Long completely shocked. Recruiting teammates? Does that mean you have already founded your own guild? Charleston immediately snatches the card and tells him to stop bluffing. How can a freshly graduated student possibly establish their own independent guild from scratch? A second later, he yells out, "The Black Crow Guild? Never heard of it. Guild registration only opens from May to June every year, and you need to deposit 1 million in registered capital to even apply. And you just graduated, so unless another established guild recommended you, there is no way you could have successfully registered. You are just a broke rookie with 0 connections and 0 cash, so how did you pull this off?" Suddenly, his subordinate reports that the Black Crow Guild actually exists. The Black Crow Guild, registered on May 18th, has been officially approved with Chen listed as the founder. Gong Ting freezes, realizing it was registered on May 18th. This means Chen planned his guild a whole month before the exams even started. No wonder he only cared about the cash prize and could not care less about the championship. His sole objective from day one was building his own guild, completely ignoring the elite Empire Guild like they were absolute trash. Ming Jing stands frozen in shock, while Gong Ting silently realizes that this kid simply does not care. Cavendish is also blown away, staring at Chen and realizing this guy has absolutely 0 respect for anyone in this room. Cavendish smirks, thinking he is just like her, as Chen aggressively snatches his black card back. He speaks up, stating a guild needs at least 2 members to raid dungeons, and right now he is the only one in Black Crow. He thrusts the card forward, stepping right up to Gong Ting, who instantly panics at the sudden confrontation. He looks him dead in the eye. "Gong Ting, want to join my Black Crow Guild?"